What is up, peep? Pushing it back? We don't do that here. How is everybody? Man, it's crazy how, I don't know if you guys can hear my air conditioner going, but I can. And that is pretty annoying. Can you guys hear that? Annoying. I can't really do anything about it though. So that kind of sucks. No video. No, I mean, can you guys hear the air conditioner? Perfect. I can hear it through my mic, so it's picking it up, but I could go louder. I don't think anyone said that in a while. Here. How's that? How is everyone today? That boy Dinky is slacking. Am I freezing? Kind of. I actually just had my heater on in my room because the roommates upstairs, they get to control the thermostat and they have like the air conditioning running 24/7, so it was like 65 degrees in my room. Dinky is a punk. I'm sure he has something going on. We'll see what happens tomorrow. If he pushes it back another day, then he's definitely a punk. Willie said he'd be up here in a few. We'll see how it goes. Has anybody seen the Drunk Turkey's little video about the Chem Lab? Oh, it's pretty funny. You guys got to open up your minds and just laugh at how dumb the stuff that he says is. Like I do. I literally call it true crime comedy. All you have to do is just watch and laugh. Well, this is like a 2-minute video that he put out yesterday for the live today or something. I don't know. Dinky pushed it back, I guess. I don't know. Well, while we're waiting for Willie and everyone to show up, I've got a little presentation on the Chem Lab video that he made. So I guess we could do that for now. We'll see what you guys think. All right, this is Steptoe Apartments, and what he did was Google Maps from Steptoe to Fulmer Hall, which is where the Chem Lab is. And we can just imagine what he was thinking while he was making it. But essentially, we start off at Steptoe, and we're going to drive to Fulmer Hall, which of course is where the Chem Lab is, which is where Brian broke in and stole chemicals to clean the car and the crime scene, and I don't know what else. And if you guys notice that I'm zoomed in, don't worry about that. It's not done on purpose or anything. But I just imagine him doing like, oh, Brian's driving to go get the chemicals. Oh, yeah, he's getting the chemicals, things of that nature. Ah. Oh, yeah, the chemicals. Oh, he's going to get the chemicals. Oh, yeah. Oh, chemicals. Oh, it's Nevada Street. Oh, 247 chemicals. Chemicals. Here is Fulmer Hall. Now, this is what happens if you zoom out. You see Wilson, which is where Brian's office is. So he would just have absolutely no reason to be in this area at all. And would also just like to point out that, especially late at night to get into these buildings, you have to swipe your student ID. So they're going to know which building he went into. No, not for the bomb. Daniel says that he stole chemicals here, which I'd like to just point out a couple of things that he also says. That he bleached his car afterwards, but if from here, why would he have to bleach his car? And also, if he didn't bleach his car, how did his sisters turn him in for bleaching his car? It doesn't make sense to me. You're breathing in the chemicals. Oh, no. Don't do that. I don't know if Daniel does know better. He's either just intentionally spreading misinformation, which I think is true, or he's just also dumb, which I also think is true. And then you put those two together and you just come up with like really stupid things. It's just crazy. It's all for the views and the clicks. I don't know if that's true. I honestly believe that he thinks that Brian did it. He literally went into a chat last week and said that I'm just trying to get a guilty person set free, among a lot of other stupid things that he said. I don't know if it's just because he talks to the families or what. I don't know. And I definitely think that if he didn't believe it, he wouldn't get so mad and try to talk over me, you know? I'm mean. I don't know. If you're like telling the truth, is it mean? Especially when you're like, listen to me, I'm coming out with all this great info that's just wrong. Like, I don't know if that's mean. He wants to cuff me. I'm not into that kinky shit. Like the dude still doesn't understand the cell phone stuff. And I've explained it to him. Cy explained it. Garrett explained it. Oh, Tara, it's this dude's channel. He's an ex-cop and he gets a law professor on and they just say the stupidest shit. So it's funny. Willie said he was going to be here. Oh, there he is. I think.
Backstage, motherfucker.
Hey, what up?
Oh, Willie said he's going to be here. I'm backstage.
I just looked and you weren't there.
Well, guess what?
What?
Perfect timing.
You just snuck in? You didn't even say surprise. What the fuck?
That's right, buddy. That's how you do it.
Did you catch the earlier part about me?
I didn't catch nothing.
About, well,
I don't even know what's going on, bro. I don't know who fucking these people are, cuss, or anybody.
Do a quick replay. Daniel has this video out for his live tonight talking about how Brian went to Fulmer Hall, which is where the chem lab is, to steal the chemicals. But he has it like super far zoomed in, right? So what happens when you zoom out is you see Wilson Hall, which is where Brian's office was. So he might have had a reason to be there. I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
And not only that, but every time you go in through those doors, especially late at night, you have to swipe your student ID.
Well, didn't his like connection go out for a little bit or some shit where that would make it plausible?
Well, it's not that it went out. It's just that he either sent a text or received a text or there was a phone call that ended.
Well, yeah, Daniel's a bitch. I've been nice and shit like this whole time. Like I try to give him the fucking, benefit of the doubt because it came on Dinkies, and I know like, he's capable of having a fucking logical conversation, but this motherfucker's so far gone, dude. There's no coming back for him. He's fucked.
And he just keeps doubling down, which makes it even more funnier.
Yeah, you sound dumb as shit. I'm not gonna lie.
But the whole Bundy coming here, killing somebody, dropping the body at the park, that didn't exist.
That's what I mean. Like he keeps adding shit on when like he can't even explain the shit that he's already fucked up. Like, the shit about Brian being fired from Pleasant Valley High School as a security guard because he was stalking. That was 1,000% false. And everybody just was like, oh, Dana was wrong about that. Let's move on to the next bullshit he wants to talk about. Like, come on, man.
You know how he says that Brian got fired on the 18th?
Yeah.
There's a video on YouTube with the chick who said that she made that story up and released it.
Well, I mean, all Daniel had to do really was just fucking listen to me, but that's too fucking hard for him. God forbid,
No, he's so smart. He's just too smart. He can't listen to anybody else.
I guess I'm somebody too that just wants to kill her out in the street because for whatever fucking reason, I don't know. like I give a fuck. Like Brian wasn't my best friend. He's not family. None of that shit. Okay, I knew him from school. Big whoop. It's still fucked up what they're doing to him, whether I knew him or not. Like this is still fucked up. What they're doing to Richard Allen, I don't know him. I never knew him. What they're doing to him is fucked up. What they did to Karen Reed is fucked up. I don't need to know these people to realize shit's fucked up. You know what I mean? So I don't like that he always tries to use because I knew Brian that I'm gonna. No, bitch. At one point, I thought Brian was guilty, so fuck you. But I go where the evidence is, and when there's no evidence, I'm not gonna start just creating fucking stories in my head for an audience. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Sorry, bud. There's my rant. That's all I need to get off my chest. I don't know about this fucking police cuss motherfucker, but Daniel's just annoying me, bro. And so is Court TV.
Oh, I know.
I started to, just when I started to kind of like Vinny, he fucking goes and they do the most bullshit segment I think I've ever seen in my whole life with so much misinformation. It was appalling. About the fucking gate, about the park.
Dude,
and I'm like, yo,
that gate is
Twiz
so
must
funny.
be losing his mind.
That gate is so funny because you can literally tell that it's open.
Yeah.
That the end of the gate is going parallel with the road.
You
if it was
drove
going
there,
perpendicular. Bro. Well, I know that, but even when that kid is standing in front of it, he doesn't walk up to that gate for a reason. But he's standing in front of it. You can tell that the gate is open because it's not perpendicular to the road.
Yep.
It's not blocking anything. If it was perpendicular to the road, the end of it would be closer to the camera, not further away.
So that segment really pissed me off. I went off in the fucking comments and that shit. I got like,
oh, me too.
I
made a Twitter and I tweeted him screenshots of that shit. And then I sent him the video of me driving up to it.
I'm not allowed to comment on any more court TV videos, I guess, because now when I go to comment, it doesn't let me. So I think I'm banned from. Yeah. Doesn't let me post anything anymore. Because I said, everything. I don't know if you saw my comment, but I said, everything they said was bullshit. That I fucking, knew Brian, and then they were bullshit. And the whole park, shenanigans was all bullshit too. If they're gonna bullshit information to need a segment, then just don't do a segment about it. Do a segment about a different fucking crime that you have actual fucking information about, not this shit where you have to trick your audience. Come on, man. Yeah.
That's the craziest thing is that kid literally drove out to the gate and they still said it.
Yeah.
Like he's 15 feet from the gate, something like that. And he's still saying it's closed. And he just does it at like a weird angle so people won't figure it out.
Yep.
Yeah. I wish that kid had a Twitter too, because I'd tell him to come check in the next time he comes to my town.
What kid?
I don't know that guy. I can't remember his name.
Oh, that guy? Yeah, it got weird.
He's an idiot. Oh, this is Brian's route from his apartments to the house, and he doesn't even go by Nevada Street. Doesn't even go down Stadium Way. Like, what are you talking about?
Just all the theatrics that Vinny does. Like, can you believe that he would drive? No, bitch, because he didn't do it. Like, of course we can't believe it. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, Vinny?
He doesn't say that, you Fucking dummies.
Jesus Christ, dude. It was just sickening, like them adding shit to stuff that LE hasn't even put out. So it's like, where are you guys coming up with this shit? Fucking jokers.
I have no
It's pissing me
idea.
off, bro. It's pissing me off because, like, you know, if I'm arrested and they do this shit, like, man, if I was Brian, I'd be in there fucking punching walls and shit, dude.
Well, that's the thing
Pissed
that I
off.
think is funny about Daniel, because if he was arrested, he wouldn't want people doing that to him.
Fuck no.
He wouldn't want people coming up with the shit that he says about Brian, about him.
No. And I mean, no matter who you are, when you're arrested, the news is gonna news. You know, like no matter how good of a person you are, they're gonna find some shit to write about you or say something you said or take something you said the wrong way and spin it to where you wanted to. You know, you meant it like this, but you could have meant it like that. I mean, that's what the news does, dude. Trust me. I know.
Yeah.
Like when I got arrested, dude, they were like, "Oh, he had his firearm to make a statement," and I was like, "Wait a second! I brought my firearm to a facility to make a statement, to like fill out a statement. You fucking idiots!" So they took that as he brought like when you read the article, man brings firearm into facility to make a statement. That would mean like the guy brought a gun in because he wanted to like make a statement about owning a. No, I went there to file a statement, to like make a statement about a different incident, and they fucking bugged out and they were like, "Oh, it's considered concealed, yada yada yada," and I'm like, "Well, you can see my gun, so like, what are you guys gonna do?" And it took them like an hour to figure out like whether to arrest me or whether to just seize my firearm until I left the facility. And I was like, really? Like, this is what we're gonna do now? Like, we're just gonna fucking sit around till you guys figure out if what I'm doing is maybe illegal or maybe not illegal? And then the news just spins that shit, bro. Just whoop,
Yep.
every time. No matter who you are, no matter if you have no criminal record, you could be the most perfect human being that ever walked this earth. You do some shit, the news will find something. So I know for a fact they spin shit, bro, because it did it to me.
Yep. That's
And I
what
wound up
they
getting
do.
like probation and some shit. I was like, really? All that for fucking probation? Like, goddamn, bro. So fucking
And
gay.
people believe it.
Oh yeah, of course. They were all hitting me up like, "Yo, did you?" I'm like, well, you guys fucking know me. Why would you even have to ask me? Like, would you go in to make a statement? No, bitch. Like, you guys just talked to me yesterday. Did I seem fine? Yeah. Did anything change overnight? No. I went to make a fucking statement, like fill out a statement, and I brought my legal firearm to the facility. I thought I was doing the right thing. Like, what the fuck? But then right away you're labeled as, oh, did you hear so-and-so got arrested? Or did you hear so-and-so did this? Or so-and-so did that? And you're sitting there like, Jesus Christ. Just watching all this unfold, dude. It's wild.
Yep.
And then they talk to you and they're like, oh, well, we thought this because they said that. Well, don't fucking listen to anything. Listen to the horse, baby.
Yep.
And the horse hasn't said shit. Has Ali said anything different than what's in the PCA?
Dude, that's what I was just thinking about the other day, and I don't think I've seen anything. And you know what else is really funny? I thought about this last night. Andrew Garrett said all they have is his cell phone records and pictures with some GPS data. And he saw all of the paper evidence. That means they don't have his GPS. They don't have any metadata to support their shit.
Well, we
They
knew
have
that
nothing.
because they were bitching about a cash report, let alone having. Dude, if they had his GPS, he'd be cooked. And if his phone was on and he was anywhere near that house, Brian Kohberger would be fucking cooked. But the problem is they don't have that information because there's no GPS information that's going to show him that because he wasn't there. And the GPS information that, if they will.
What I'm saying is I don't think they'll have GPS about him at the park either.
Why not?
Because I don't think they got anything with his GPS in there. What he said was all they have is his call detail records.
But isn't shit running in the background of your phone 24/7?
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that it saves it. I think they would need to have like a third party app that would track your GPS for it to save it.
Really?
I don't know. I mean, that's just what I'm thinking.
Maybe he
like if he didn't have that
make a phone call
Strava
that night
app.
or something.
Well, he couldn't at the park because there's no service. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
They just made everything fit him.
Yes, it did. He went to the wrong fucking place, dude.
Yeah.
Wrong place, wrong time.
That's wild. Well, he wasn't even at the wrong place. Like he's what, 30 miles away by the
Yeah,
how the
right.
crow flies, and they're still
Wrong
like, "Oh,
car,
we have you
wrong
here,
time.
buddy."
We have your car, bro. Really? What's my
Yeah.
plate number? We don't know, but it's you.
It appears that it wasn't showing a front license plate. Okay, well, does that mean it didn't have one? Because I'm gonna need some. It didn't have one.
Believe this shit, man. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah. You haven't watched this video yet?
No, I ain't watching none of this dumb shit.
Dude, I was in there talking to these idiots, and Angel was too.
Who is this fucking guy?
Just some retired cop. Who
Oh,
doesn't
imagine
know what he's
that.
talking about.
It's amazing how all the retired cops have made asses of themselves. Johnny, Daniel, this fuck.
Oh, just wait. The other guy is like a law professor. And I was arguing with him in the chat, but he was like, yeah, I'm going to need to see some history of him going to this park. I'm like, what does the history have anything to do with that night?
Yeah, too bad they all can't be cool as like Sean McDonough. You know, that motherfucker is a retired whatever, but he says it how it is. That's how all these motherfuckers should be. But instead, they want to back the blue in every fucking situation, no matter, where it leads them to. And I don't like that.
Yeah. It's crazy. All right, let's go.
Kohberger alibi. There's been so much talk in this case about.
Let me know
what
if
kind of
that's
evidence
too
does
fast for you,
the
chat.
prosecution have, and what about Brian Kohberger's alibi? And if in fact it really is an alibi, how loosely can we define an alibi? For an alibi,
I don't know. He has an expert,
other
jackass.
witnesses that are going to attest to where you've been.
I
where
told him
you
to
were
bring
during
up the
time
first alibi.
of the said
He
crime.
didn't want to do it.
And don't forget that white Hyundai Elantra, which wasn't just tracked by the vehicle's computer system, but also caught on numerous video cameras.
It wasn't tracked by the computer system at all.
En route and going to and from.
No, you gotta trust him. He's a retired cop.
King Road. So when we talk about an alibi, how
I'm
loose
good.
is Judge John Judge going to allow this alleged alibi?
I'm a cop,
And it was
bro.
back in May,
Trust
shortly
me.
after defense attorneys for Brian Kohberger claimed he had an alibi for the night, actually the early mornings of 4 University of Idaho students were murdered in November 13th, 2022. The prosecution has responded by calling the alibi legally inadequate. Kohberger is accused of, as we all know, of killing Madison Mogen, Kaylee Gonsalves, Donna Knoll, and Ethan Chapin at their off-campus residence in Moscow, Idaho, around 4 a.m., November 13th, 2022. All four were close friends and students at the University of Idaho. And we've all seen the pictures. It's up on the screen right now. Kohberger, as we all know, was a PhD criminology student at Washington State University, and he lived in Pullman, Washington, roughly 8 miles away from the scene of the crime at the time of the slayings. And of course, he's pled not guilty. One of the things I asked the other night, and I think that this is fair game to ask this question. If the defense thinks that Brian Kohberger is so innocent, and if the defense is raising this alibi, why hasn't the defense, and I'm saying they claim he's innocent, why haven't they applied for bond?
Oh, because you can't get bond in Idaho for a
Jesus
capital
Christ.
It's a fair question,
case.
because if someone's innocent,
Oh
why are they
my
in jail right
God.
now?
A retired fucking cop, and he asked a stupid ass
Because-
fucking question like that.
Because dumbass cops like yourself put people in jails and haven't done anything.
So according to an April 17th court filing, public defender Ann Taylor claims Kohberger was driving outside of Moscow on the night of the murders, as was not near the home where Gonsalves, Mogen, Knoll, and Chapin were stabbed to death. Mr. Kohberger was out driving in the early morning hours of November
I'm not
13th,
muted.
2022,
My bad.
as he
Hold
often
on.
did to hike and run and or see the moon and the stars. The filing also states he drove throughout the area south of Pullman, Washington, west of Moscow and Idaho, including Wawawai Park. In a response to the filing, which was reviewed, the prosecution says the alibi lacks the specificity required by an Idaho law, which states that the defense shall state the specific place or places which the defendant claims to have been at the time of the alleged offense, and the names and addresses of the witnesses upon whom he intends to establish such alibi. The prosecution claims that nothing in the official alibi filing is new information aside from the mention of Wawawai Park.
And then we pull up the first alibi, where it says Mr. Kohberger's defense team continues investigating and preparing his case. Evidence corroborating Mr. Kohberger being at a location other than King Road address will be disclosed pursuant to discovery and evidentiary rules, as well as statutory requirements. It is anticipated this evidence may be offered by way of cross-examination of witnesses produced by the state, as well as calling expert witnesses. And she's talking about the cast report. I know you can't figure that one out. But the specifics are going to be coming from the state themselves. Crazy.
The defendant is offering nothing new to his initial alibi that he was simply driving around during the morning hours of November 13th, 2022. In response to the defense claim that Kohberger's cell phone data could prove he was not located near the crime scene at 11:22 King Road at the time of the murders, the prosecution says in the filing that this information does not rise to the level of an alibi at the time of the homicides because the defendant's cell phone stopped reporting to the cellular network before the homicides and continued to not report until after the homicides. So is it too hard to believe that Brian Kohberger was smart enough, a PhD criminology student, to turn off his cell phone? Because he knew and he knows that the cell phone would be used to track him. So
He knows.
Oh, and now his cell phone was turned off when it's come out in court that all they had were call detail records. And what that means is they can see when he was on a phone call or a text came in or out. That's it. You can't tell where his phone is. You can't tell if the
Brian
phone
knows.
is on. Brian knows. This dude don't.
He knows.
that he's smart enough to do that, wouldn't we all? So he simply would turn off his phone. And then the evidence that the prosecution has. Look, in no way am I insinuating that this is going to be an easy prosecution. No way. No way is this going to be an easy prosecution.
It's gonna be an easy defense, though.
Going to get him.
Isn't it? Don't you have to have alibi witnesses? And if you don't have alibi witnesses, don't you, the defendant, have to be your own witness and testify as to where you are at the time and what you were doing?
And if you actually
doesn't
read the first alibi, it would tell
witnesses
you.
to give him that alibi, then I think that he better take the stand. Do you think that his defense attorney, Ann Taylor, really wants him to take the stand in this case? I think not, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. I really think not.
Well,
But
your first
they
problem
will
there
try
was
to
that
reduce
you
this alibi.
thought.
So, folks, hold on to your hats.
Yeah,
Hold on to your
try not
loved ones.
thinking,
Hold on to your
bro.
Service dog. Hold on to your hat, your coat. You're about to enter true crime from a police perspective. You're about to enter the
And this
office
is
of
why we
Maxo.
know it's so
You're about to
wrong.
enter the police office.
You know what's sad though? He seems like kind of a good guy. Like if he didn't have all this fucking cop talk.
Oh yeah, I got banned in this chat
Ask me some
during
comments.
this live
We still don't know who pulled the trigger.
because I was trying to tell them, the truth, and they don't like that.
We just recently covered this topic, but what we focused on was the victims in this case, the victims and their families. And it's like no one wants to talk about the victims. No one wants to talk about those beautiful kids you see up on the screen, Kaylee Gonzalez,
that
Nancy
got
Logan,
loud.
Zaina Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. But I covered that in the last episode. And I think it's important always to focus on the kids and the victims and their families, because ultimately they are the ones that this case is about.
Yes,
They are the
let's
ones
just
with whom we are
execute
seeking
the person
justice
that
for.
was arrested without proof.
Fuck
This
it.
is Vinny Politics.
We just need to make
covered
a
this case
fifth
today.
victim. Have another
This is the
victim's
Republican
family.
Murders. This is the biggest case on the docket here at Court TV. And this is not the easiest case in the world to prove. It's a case based on
Wonder why.
circumstantial evidence. Here's more.
Folks, just so you know, we always
Circumstantial
use that
evidence
term,
or bullshit?
circumstantial evidence.
I don't know.
Circumstantial evidence simply means
Folks, just so
from
you
which
know, the
inferences
jury can
are
still
drawn.
convict.
That is the definition of circumstantial evidence. And I know we hear that term, and I don't know if everyone seriously understands it because it's a technical term. From which
What do you tell your
inferences are drawn.
fucking
And there's a
audience is
big list
jackass?
of things that are circumstantial evidence, and we will discuss that also.
Yeah, like everything in this fucking
if
case.
someone's accused of a murder, and this is a horrific murder, your first defense and best defense is always going to be, well, it couldn't have been me because I was somewhere else. And in this case, they have a good window of time as to when they believe the murders took place. So what exactly is the accused
How do we know
killer's
that it's a
alibi?
good window?
We took a closer look. The alibi for the accused Idaho student's killer is that while 4 college students were murdered in the early morning hours, he was out for an innocent joyride. Defense attorneys called their client an avid runner and hiker, claiming he often took drives in the countryside late at night and in the early morning hours to enjoy the moon and stars. The accused killer's filing says that once school started, his hiking decreased and his drives increased. His attorneys plan to present cell phone data
Yo, I put
and
the
photos of
fucking,
night
ghost
sky
cut together.
that show he was in the countryside on
Nice.
several occasions.
Yeah,
Defense says
bro.
the client's cell phone was south of Pullman, Washington, and west of Moscow, Idaho on November
It's fun as
13th,
fuck.
2022. So they say the car captured on video along the Moscow-Pullman highway near Floyd's cannabis shop could not be his. Floyd's cannabis shop is off State Route 270, the main route into Moscow from Pullman, Washington. His alibi does not confirm or deny that other surveillance videos
you gotta
of the
go on
white
camera
Elantra
soon,
in
bro.
Moscow is him. Here's
I'm
the
on
state's
camera
timeline
every
of the accused
hearing.
killer's movements, outlined in their probable
What do you
cause
mean?
affidavit. Prosecutors say his phone pings in Pullman, Washington
I'm
at
on
2:42
camera every
a.m.
hearing.
at his Washington State University campus
That's
apartment.
bullshit.
His phone is on the move at 2:44 a.m. A few minutes later, his cell phone stops pinging. Investigators say that could be because the accused killer turned it off. And for the next 2 hours,
You know what it also could be? He wasn't making a phone call or texting anybody at that time. Shocking.
investigators track his alleged movements using only surveillance video of what they say is his white Elantra. The state alleges that the accused killer drove from the WSU campus to Moscow by way of State Route 270, a claim they support with surveillance of a white Elantra seen heading in the direction of the highway at 2:53 a.m. and a photo of the same car near Floyd's cannabis shop further down the highway. The accused
So is any of this, when we talk about this evidence of the car, of the white car, it's circumstantial because we cannot produce a picture, a photo of Brian Kohberger driving that car. We can produce video of the car, of the Hyundai Elantra, but we cannot produce video of the person driving it. So totally circumstantial evidence. I want everyone to understand that.
Can't produce the fucking car
Thank
either,
you.
jackass.
Slam dunk
I
evidence.
had a hard time
But-
understanding that.
Ann Taylor, the defense attorney, when this goes to trial, won't she say,
A
how do we
car.
know that this was Brian Kohberger? It's just so because a white Elantra left the Washington State University
Just
campus and
happened to
traveled
be the
along this
wrong
route.
year.
How do we know someone didn't have a similar Hyundai Elantra? There's no license plate, right? I don't know if they have it on license plate readers other than the video surveillance. So I just want
Oh,
everyone to
God.
understand that this is totally circumstantial evidence that from which inferences are drawn.
Well, yeah, you're an asshole.
I
for
have a
thinking
lot
you're
of-
nothing.
him. Cameras caught a white
I've got a
Elantra
lot of
traveling through
inferences
Moscow,
about
first on
you,
streets
sir.
near the crime scene, then on the victim's street from
So it's all
3:39
circumstantial, but you're a
to
piece of
4 back
shit.
on at about 4:48
Okay.
a.m. near Blaine,
That makes
Idaho,
sense.
a rural community in the countryside.
They also don't
about
say that
10
he
to
turned his
15
phone
minutes
back on because
south
they don't
of
say
Moscow.
they turned his
According
phone
to the
off.
prosecution, from 4:50 a.m. to 5:26 a.m.,
I'm not here by the
his phone
shed.
travels south towards Genesee, Idaho, going west toward Uniontown, Washington.
Now, what I would think and what I would try to say if I was the prosecutor,
He's thinking again.
he had his phone turned off, and his phone turned off for a reason.
Oh,
The
did
reason
it?
was because,
Did
as
his
we all
phone
know,
turn off?
A cell phone is a living, breathing
Bill?
GPS device.
Oh, his name is
and
Bill,
can track
too.
the person who owns it and the car that they're in, the route
My
and the
fucking
times
uncle's
and the
name.
places and the cell sites that it pinged.
Fucking hate my
So
own.
he turned it off. Now, is that in itself powerful evidence? Well, he's a PhD criminology student. He knows about cell phone technology. He knows about GPS tracking. He knows how the police work.
Turns
So
out
turning
he
that
actually
phone
doesn't know
off,
much about that
Is that
at all.
somewhat powerful circumstantial evidence once again? And then turning it back on, is that also perhaps powerful circumstantial evidence? Where was he when he left the 1122 King Road? If in fact it was him and he turned his cell phone on, was he perhaps getting
He
rid of the
didn't
evidence?
turn his
Was
phone
he
off.
dumping
There's
Shut
nothing
your
that
mother
says his
mouth.
phone
that
was
was
off.
used in these murders? If in fact you believe that he is guilty of these crimes, that he is the perpetrator in these crimes. These are some of the questions I would be asking myself if I was a juror. These are some of the questions I would be asking if I was the prosecutor. These are some of the doubts that I would try to put in the jury's head if I was
Excuse
the
me.
defense attorney. So all of these things we need to think about.
A route that could lead toward Wawawai Park. The accused killer claims that park was his favorite place, and that in the early morning hours of November 13th, he drove there. His alibi does not say when he got home, but the state says at 5:30 a.m. his cell phone uses service in Pullman, Washington. According to prosecutors, that's when he got home, not after an innocent drive, but after committing a quadruple murder.
A quadruple
So that's
murder.
the accused killer's alibi, but that brings me to our
Makes
first
sense.
question. Let's take a look. Does his alibi make any sense?
Yes, it does if you
Court TV
actually
producer
read
Cody
it.
Thomas is on the case.
But if
and
you're
joining us
dumb,
Yeah.
from
you might
Washington
When you have a
misunderstand.
fucking
Cody,
expert.
there you are.
Like this guy.
Let me ask you,
He's dumb.
because it's very specific where he
Who's
said he went. So my question to you is, does his alibi
That's
make
the
any
black
sense?
guy. I don't know his name.
From the chat, Professor Michael Geary.
I-
He's
I-
got some good
The
alibi
video's not
ideas,
playing.
but
I
he
can,
cannot produce
all I have
a
is
single
audio.
person to back up his alibi. He's painted himself.
This is
into a
Michael
corner.
Geary.
And
He's a
Professor Mike, that's a
professor
great
of law.
statement. The other thing is whether or not
That's what,
He says
I
a
couldn't
lot of
make sure it
stupid
wasn't
shit.
will allow this alibi.
Gary Hughes, because that's
or
what his
will
ass keep
condition
going on
upon
there.
The defendant
I hope the
testifying.
kids at his
I'll allow it in if
university
he's gonna
request
testify, or
a
else there's
smarter
no other alibi
teacher.
witnesses. And if he's not going to testify, I will not allow this in as an alibi.
Well, Vinny, of course, it's up to the court to have a direct answer to that question. But I did go down to his favorite location, Wawawai County Park, and I also went at night, just kind of get a feel of the stargazing vibe that he was going
You know
for.
who
There
else
was a
went
long
at
drive,
night?
There was a lot of dirt
Me,
roads,
bitch.
several miles of
Me.
dirt roads. Take a look at what this park would have looked like
Twice.
at the entrance gate. According to Brian Kohberger's alibi, he says during the window of
See
time
how
the murder occurred, he was out driving
the
around
part of the
stargazing,
gate
specifically ending
is
up
not
right
getting
here at what he told
closer
one of his favorite
to the
parks in his alibi,
camera?
Wawawai County
That's
Park.
because it's
Now, of
not
course, there's nothing wrong
closed.
with coming to a public park, doing what you want to do, stargazing included. That's what they're here for people's leisure in the community. But one caveat about this park in particular, it closes once the sun goes down. It doesn't reopen until 7 a.m. And if you pan over here to the left, it's gated. And that gate is
Wrong
closed. No cars
again.
coming in, no cars coming out. So according to Brian Kohberger's alibi, he says he was
The gate is closed. No cars coming in or out. Let's take a look.
Mama's wrong
No, you can't drive in
again.
'cause it's locked at night, right?
Mhm.
All right, here we are.
What time is it right now when you're going there?
Like right at 11-ish.
There you go.
Look, it's locked.
Oh no.
Look.
It's closed and locked at
Going
night.
down on this one. Oh, look at that.
Oh, no, you can get my retina when I was 19 years old.
Oh, let's look at
Dude,
this
soon
one.
they're gonna fucking send us a letter that we can't talk about this case anymore because we're fucking raining all over their shit parade.
They can suck on my cock.
Looks like the gate is wide open again, folks.
Oh look, trip 2.
0 for 2 on that gate being locked and closed. Fucking crazy.
Are you scared to drive in?
I'm not scared to. I'm just pretty sure I'm not supposed to legally.
These people are idiots.
He was here during the window of time that the murders occurred. Now, we know those murders occurred between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. Now, how is it that he could be out here at those times if this park is closed? Not to say his alibi is untruthful, but it does get a little muddy once you throw that crucial piece of information in here about Wawawai County Park.
So there's 2 holes that this producer from Law and Crime just poked in it right there. The park closes after a certain hour, and the gates are locked. So was
Does
he
it?
really, in fact,
Does it close and are
in
the
that
gates
park when
locked?
The park was closed,
Bill.
and the gates were locked. So do you think that maybe Ann Taylor will be rethinking whether or not to actually present that?
Do you think
as an
that
alibi?
Bill will
And as I
rethink
said,
anything
also, the
that
judge
he ever
could condition
says?
that alibi upon Brian Kohberger testifying, or else it's not an
They
alibi.
probably staged that
It's really
shit.
not
They're
an
like, yo,
alibi.
quick, close the door.
Angel from the chat, in my humble opinion, there's a lot of blood footprints inside 1122. They just haven't said it publicly. They said no trail outside, but people are trampled and driven over the front lot of 1122 all day, in my opinion.
Whose voice is that?
Angel D, I don't know if that could be true
What do you mean?
because the
Oh, is it?
Bill.
discovery
Some
which was
reason
published
it-
that was giving to the
Just waiting for
defense,
Gary's
there
ass
was
to fucking pop up there.
of blood evidence or bloody footprint. Oh, there was a footprint, if you remember
I
earlier
hate him more
on,
than anybody, bro.
of a certain type of shoe.
No,
But
that gate
print
was not
raised
closed.
with a chemical called
You can
amino
tell
black,
by the angle
and
of
it
it.
raised that footprint or that print
You
made
went
by a
there.
specific type of shoe. So in order to
These
compare
motherfuckers
that
could have
shoe,
fucking closed it
you
before
have
they
to
started
find that
filming.
shoe
You literally
and
drove
compare it
there
to the
on
shoe
live.
print that was found on the floor inside
So-
1122 King Road. Then that would be very powerful evidence. But again, we don't know that. Did they recover those shoes in any of the search warrants that they did on the vehicle, the apartment, and the parents' home of Brian Kohberger? That is yet to be seen.
And again, Vinny, that park is about 30 minutes west of Pullman in the opposite direction of Moscow.
So what's the
He
drive
got
like
something
to actually
right.
get to that gate? Like, where are you driving?
Crazy.
What are you passing? What are you seeing?
I'm not saying much of anything besides all of these wheat fields that you can see behind me. At night, it was very dark, as you can see on your screen right there.
This
And
dude
I was
acts
out there
like
maybe
he's
around
scared.
9:30 to 10 o'clock. And you can see there weren't many
Good
cars
mom, bro.
out there. There's one passing right here, but maybe 3 out of that entire trip that I took. And once you get off this main road, you go down 7 to 8 miles of dirt and gravel road with fields on both sides and not much civilization at all. And in fact, at one point, my cell phone dropped signal. Luckily, I was paying attention to figure out how to get back. But after midnight,
Yeah,
I don't
you
imagine
just turn
anyone
around.
could pick him up out there. And I find it weird that he was out there at that time in the first place, given what that drive was like.
Now, the darkness would work if you are going stargazing. When you were out in this area, were there any stars out?
Well, I was more so paying attention to the road, but the sky was very wide open, and I would say there's plenty of stars out. But again, I was trying to figure out where to go and make sure that I can make it back home.
And we got a great idea from the video of what we're talking about here. This is not an area where you're going to come across anyone else at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, 3 a.m. It's just not going to happen. But are you passing any businesses? Are
Well,
you passing
actually,
any
yes, it is gonna happen.
homes, any farms?
Benny, you're passing nothing but open fields without barns, without houses, and all essence of the phrase middle of nowhere. That's what this park felt like. I mean, you were just going and it was dark, and I had my bright lights on, then all of a sudden up to the right, I saw the entrance gate, and I was like, oh, there it is. But before that, you didn't see much of anything on this entire drive.
And I presume there was no one else at the park at that time.
Absolutely not. I was the only one going down that road around 9:30, 10 o'clock. I was the only one coming back off of it.
He also,
It's just
I
a
believe you said there's
campground.
You know, I also wonder if Ann
Oh,
Taylor,
he's thinking
if
again.
she did her due diligence in regards to checking the park to see were they in fact open at the time that that Brian Kohberger said that he was there. was it open? And if she didn't check, shame on her. Because if she's going to use this as an alibi,
Hey, maybe you should check if it's
later
actually
on,
closed. Because shame on
she
you,
finds out later
sir.
on that it was locked.
Even
Gates
if it
were
was
closed.
closed and locked, you could walk
She finds
around
it out
it.
later on. That doesn't make it look too
Right? They act like
good
nobody's
as a
ever
defense
parked
attorney
and
does.
walked before.
It doesn't make it look because she didn't do her due diligence.
Speaking of doing your due diligence,
I'm just sending
My
Mike
lord.
Geary a little invitation if he's available to come.
Oh,
on the
yeah,
show. I
bring
didn't know if he was
Geary
available
up.
tonight. So that wouldn't make Ann Taylor, the defense
Fuck
attorney,
Harry.
who presents this to Judge John Judge as an alibi, if she did not do her due diligence on this park, but yet she's going to try to use it as an alibi, and that would be pretty embarrassing, I think, if you're a defense attorney and you
Shut
didn't
up,
do your work.
bitch. She is an expert.
Four Idaho college students, their alleged killer offering up an alibi in brand new court filings. Lawyers representing Brian Kohberger, I should say, claim he was out on a late night drive.
I hate that I can't use fucking certain words, bro.
Were stabbed to death in
Let
November
it
2022,
fly.
and nowhere near the home
No,
where
I
those
can't
murders
with
took
this
place.
one.
Kelsey's been digging into this new
I
court
almost
filing
let it
for us.
fly.
Kelsey, did Kohberger's attorneys offer any evidence to actually
Because
back
I
up his
watched
alibi?
Yeah, hey there, Marky. So this is pretty
I watched
interesting.
House of a Thousand Corpses and Double Redux again today, so
Idaho college students. So according to his alibi, his
I have
attorney
a
say
potty
that there are
mouth today.
photos of the night sky in his phone that proves that
It
he had a habit
happens.
of taking drives late at night. They also claim that they have expert witness who will be able to dispute the cell phone pings that put him at the scene of the murder when the murders happened. The new court filing reads, in part quote, Kohberger was out driving in the early morning hours of November 13th of 2022, as he often did to hike and run and or see the moon and stars. The defense claims data from Kohberger's phone shows that he went out for late night drives on several occasions. Now, the filing claims that on the night of the murders, Kohberger drove throughout the area of South Pullman, Washington. That is west of Moscow, Idaho, including Wawawai Park. But the defense says this, quote, additional information will be provided once the state provides discovery requested and now subject to an upcoming motion to compel. If not disclosed, the expert witness's testimony will also say the critical evidence for the corroborating Mr. Kohberger's alibi was either not preserved or has been withheld. Investigators claim that Kohberger's phone pinged near his apartment at the Washington State University campus around 2:45 in the morning, but stopped reporting to the network.
I'm just going to tell you right now, bro.
Now, police say that
There's
is
no
consistent
way in
with the phone
hell
either being turned off or
and
from
would
airplane
prevent
mode.
me from
It didn't
talking.
ping again until 5 in the morning. But authorities say that Kohberger's white Hyundai was spotted on surveillance footage near the murder scene. They say it was spotted
lost
several times in that
signal.
window where the phone was
0% chance.
Police say that murders likely occurred
It
between 4
lost
and 4:25
signal.
in the morning. The phone then started pinging again just before 5 in the morning. According to police, the phone signal was tracked moving south on Highway 95 away from Moscow, then pinged again west and north back
The
towards
police say
WSU
that it was
campus in
tracked
Pullman,
doing
which
that,
would be
huh?
consistent with Kohberger driving back home. Now, these
That's
new
what
developments,
the
they come
police
just hours
said.
after Idaho leaders reported that the Kohberger case has already cost the state more than $3.6
Dude,
million
a lot of these people
in
just need to
taxpayer
go back to like
money.
the
That averages
third grade and
nearly
take like
$8,000 per
reading
day. We know that
comprehension.
Kohberger is due back in court next
Bullshit,
month.
bullshit,
That will be
bullshit.
when the judge is expected to decide on the defense's request for a
Like,
venue
it's
change.
simple
That hearing is scheduled
English.
for May 14th. Marky?
You could just
Interesting that a
read it.
stargazing alibi was offered up
The,
a whole year and a
the
half
lack
later,
of common
with
sense
all
is
the
what I
reports
find
like Kelsey mentioned.
fascinating in the
The
true crime
interesting thing
community.
about welcome to the show, Mike Geary. Mike,
Yeah,
I
welcome
knew
to
you
the
were
show,
available
Mike
tonight, but when
Geary.
I saw you were in the chat. I jumped at having you join us here. You know, Mike, one of the interesting things is, and you know more about this than me, you're an attorney, and I'm not, I'm just a copper. I think it's far-fetched that this guy goes out at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. It's probably
My
15,
daughter
20
knows more
degrees
than
out,
you,
and just
you
likes
fuck.
to go hiking and gaze at the stars
Oh,
and go to a
no.
park that's closed where the gates are locked.
The
I think
gate-
it's a little bit
The
far-fetched.
gates are
And the other
locked
thing
and
is,
closed,
I
guys. You
mentioned
heard it
earlier
again.
That this clearly
I
is
actually
not an alibi,
made it
because
up that the gates were
if it's gonna be
open.
an
It's all
alibi, you have to have alibi
Photoshop.
witnesses. He has
It's
no
all
witnesses. And
editing.
I think the judge could could make quick.
I'm the
motion of
liar.
this by saying, okay, I'll accept this as an alibi under the condition that Brian Kohberger
Whoops.
testifies. If he's not going
Wrong
to testify,
button.
I'm striking this down. It's not going to be taken as an alibi. Your thoughts?
Billy, yeah, you're right on. Ann Taylor did this over a year after the initial indictments, and she's gotten all this discovery.
Actually, the
she
first
may
one
not have
was
all
done
the due
in
diligence. Maybe the
July
idea
of
that
last
she's
year, and if
she
you
thought she could
read
tailor
it,
and
you
what she would
might
consider an
not
alibi
sound
from
so
any sort of
stupid today.
inconsistencies in the prosecution's own
My daughter's
witnesses
not
and
around when I
statements,
curse.
and
Don't
that
worry
she
about
tailor
it.
something, that would customize it, that would fit into that, and make that a defense and say, oh, it's an alibi. However, an alibi is traditionally you have people who you're with, you have video, you have.
I'm a
other
scholar
things that
around
prove
my
you were at a particular
daughter.
place, a particular time, particular location, and there was somebody you were talking to, somebody knew you were there, and you would produce that. If he had that, he would have produced it a month after he'd been indicted. He doesn't have it. It's all just a smoke and mirrors on Ann Taylor's part. She's doing the best she can. She doesn't have anywhere to go, really. She just has to try to do the best she can for her client. That's her ethical duty. And with the cell phone technology we have, it's rare that you're going to go someplace where you get absolutely no service or you turn off your phone.
Shut up,
and,
bitch.
he would have to show that it really
It is.
as I talked
It
about
is
habit
really
in the
rare not to
beginning when I
have
was making
service.
some comments in the
Well,
chat.
guess what?
Habit is your
At
method
Bro,
of
Wawawai
doing
what?
Park,
I
there is no
fucking
service.
T-Mobile,
what do you do
and
on
like
Friday?
if I
You
go to
drink,
certain
you go to the
areas,
library,
I ain't getting
you go out
nothing.
dancing. Habit. What do you do repeatedly over the course of a time in your life? If he's saying in this one semester, oh, he had a habit of going, he did these things, driving around, that's habit. You kind of have to prove that habit. You just can't say, oh, I've done it a million times. No, you can't do that. The judge may actually not allow Ann Taylor to tell the jury that Brian Kohberger has an alibi. She may be actually stopped from saying that to the jury, and he may have to actually take the defense, take the stand in his own defense and say, this is what I did, but on that particular night. But again, he doesn't have the cell phone data to prove it. That's circumstantial evidence.
He doesn't?
He's painted himself into a real corner.
No, has he?
But Mike, I also think that Ann Taylor, in using this alibi, didn't do her due diligence in regards to the Wawawai Park or whatever to check out that it closes.
What
at
are
a
these
certain hour,
fucks
and
talking
B,
about?
The gates are locked. So
I would ask them, but they sure as fuck don't know.
Diligence, and there's an old expression in the attorney business: never ask.
They need to do their due diligence.
She is guilty of asking a question.
What kind of fucking fairy world do they live in?
Lawyering, and I'm not saying she's a bad lawyer. I think she's an excellent lawyer, but everyone can make mistakes, and that's a big mistake.
Bad lawyering.
Yeah,
what the fuck has Ann done?
Because all you have to do now, the prosecution is going to know what her thought process is because she put this out there, and they will make sure that they will have a witness testify about the park's closing. A park ranger, that's
she's a bad lawyer because she didn't get in the plea. Shut the fuck up.
At that time of year, maybe in the summertime, they close at 10 o'clock.
Nobody in their mind.
The park ranger comes up here. Yeah, there's a campground. We have campers there and no cell phone coverage. We're not locking them in.
It's really going to be hard
because that would be stupid.
And try to.
Nobody in their right fucking sane mind would say, yeah, let me take a plea deal with this fucking evidence you have against me.
If I'm the prosecutor, I'm going to just cross my T's, dot my I's, and make sure I have a witness just in case I need it to come in and say, nope, there's no way he could be in that park. That park is closed. That gate is right there at the front. You cannot get it past that gate after 9 o'clock at night. Nobody goes stargazing in that late.
Shut up, bitch. You don't know what the fuck people do. I didn't know I was a bird watcher until fucking a week ago.
Maui Swift, first of all, Maui.
I didn't know they allowed.
And I got a picture of the bird I took too.
Professors. People in their chat was like, he's a professor. He knows what he's talking about. And I was like,
nobody looks at the stars. What
I
the
think it's
fuck?
very, 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 very powerful evidence.
What did everybody do fucking a month ago? Watch the fucking eclipse. Oh,
everybody knows
what's up in the sky? Stars. Holy shit.
The positivity rate is like 40,
everybody was stargazing.
99.9999% positive when they get these hits. And also, it was that DNA was matched to I think it was.
Why would the guy say he was doing something
his parents' home
stupid if he wasn't doing something stupid?
Like, and it proved 100% match. To the 1/10000000th trillionth degree. People speculated that his alibi is going to be he saw a knife at a show, maybe a gun and knife show somewhere that fall, and he took it. He grabbed
these
it,
guys on your
examined
fucking
it,
show.
And then suddenly he put it back. He decided not to
They're
go and buy it.
too much of cowards to debate, bro.
And then he put it down, and
It would
somebody
never
else picked it
happen.
up, and then did the homicide.
Let's
Well, fuck them. That's why. When it comes to like straight facts, what you have, what I have, well, fuck anybody. Any fucking duo that wants it with their little bullshit fucking narrative they want to make up, and they want to go toe to toe with like straight facts, well, fuck them all, dude. That's why they, want to say, oh, you guys just want killer to be on the street, because it's all they fucking have, Twiz. That's all they have. They know you went live to the fucking park and the gate was fucking open. They know I fucking brought on fucking Brian's friend who validated his fucking face on camera that Fox interviewed, and he straight up said Brian never fucking did anything. Never talked about anything crazy, never fucking acted out, nothing. But yet, these people spin the fucking narrative. The gate was closed. Brian was a cannibal. Brian was a woman. All this shit. And they're scared of the fucking truth. Why can't they just accept the fucking truth? Why is that so hard? Instead of like being enemies here, there should be like collaboration and a way to like figure this shit out. But instead, they want to triple down, quadruple down, quintuple down. Fuck them.
Yep. And speaking of DNA, this is from Bicca Barlow's filing. It says, and in this case in which the profile at issue is ambiguous and partial, is that really his DNA? How do we know that? Other suspects are an important area of investigation. You thought it was his DNA?
Yeah, I thought they tracked the whole fucking ancestry shit.
Prove it.
I don't fucking know.
I'm just saying, prove it. Not to you.
I told all my family members,
I want to see proof.
I told all my family, I said, yo, and y'all take that shit? I need to know. Like, you gotta understand, like, if anybody takes a fucking ancestry test, you need to let the whole fucking family know that we are now on the fucking books. Like, period. Like, that's
Really
something that you know, so, because they don't fucking tell you that when they try to get you to sign up, that they're gonna fucking, you know, use this later on as a whatever way to do this kind of weird shit.
Yeah.
I don't even know how that's illegal.
Well, it's not in some cases. That's why they're fighting it. But
Without getting
you know how
consent?
they say 5.37 octillion, and there's a moron on YouTube that brings it up a lot?
Mm-hmm.
It says, in its motion, the government misstates the statistical rarity of the comparison to the DNA from the sheath. At page 6, the STR profile is at least 5.37 octillion times more likely to be seen if defendant is the source than if an unrelated individual randomly selected from the general population is a source.
So,
this reported statistic for this comparison is like a likelihood ratio similar to RMP, which compares two competing hypotheses. The government statement is extremely misleading and is essentially the prosecutor's fallacy. The fallacy is to say that the probability is also the probability that the DNA at the crime scene came from someone other than the defendant. It does not say that the odds that the suspect contributed to the evidence are 1,000 to 1. National Research Council Evaluation of Forensic DNA Evidence 1996 at page 133.
But his DNA was on a sheet.
Prove to me that that's his DNA. And then prove to me that he brought it into the house.
like I said, give him the fucking DNA, right? It's still transfer. It's still bullshit.
Exactly.
And the sheath didn't kill nobody. If I stabbed you with a sheath, are you going to be injured?
I mean, maybe if you stab him. In the
No,
eye or
you won't.
something.
No, you fucking won't be. It's leather. It's gonna crumble on the impact of your body. So
yeah, but if you stab somebody in the eye.
Okay, well, yeah, I said impact, Jack, not fucking make you fucking put your hand over your fucking eye. So a sheath cannot kill somebody. So I don't understand what these fucks are salivating over touch transfer DNA. And these are fucking cops and lawyers and shit that these fucking imbeciles
This
are
dude is a
talking to each other.
professor. He teaches kids, and we wonder why the kids come out stupider than they went into college. You know what I'm saying?
What they should be saying is transfer DNA is not enough to fucking shoot a man. That's what they should be saying, because that's the truth, dude. That's the truth. If they had more time, they would have investigated this case way longer, and Brian would have probably been cleared, to be honest with you.
Had to get somebody before the next semester started.
Had to.
Not him. So it's really going to be a stretch for him to kind of.
Oh, it's going to be a stretch.
That he did this, and that anybody's going to believe it. It's really not good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry
Dawn
about the
Marie,
technical issues.
thank you so much for seeing you, first of all, in the chat. And again, Dawn Marie saying you can join the Police Off the Cuff Crime Channel membership here. And folks, this is Police Off the Cuff Real Crime Stories. If you like real crime, true crime from a police perspective, you're in the right place.
False
If
crime.
you're not subscribed, go on our YouTube, hit that subscribe
Fictional
button, ring that bell,
crime.
give us a thumbs up,
Imagination
share us with your
crime.
friends and your family. There's the link to subscribe. If you want to go on our website, that's our website, policeoffthecuff676.com. 676 is my old police NYPD shield
Nobody
number.
gives a fuck.
If you want to contribute to us
I
financially,
should
we have
take that
Patreon,
and make a
with
call.
4 different levels, and we also have a YouTube channel membership.
I'd like to
with 5 different
report
levels. We
this
appreciate all of our
badge
friends and
number.
subscribers, who support the
Bill,
show.
he's a liar.
You know, look, I'm seeing
And
some people in the
spreads
chat that
misinformation.
we don't, and our monitors, our mods, they're not instructed to get rid of people that have a different
Monitors?
opinion than us.
They're talking about
instructed
me right now, by
to
the way.
block someone who is
Really?
Yeah.
is rude.
I got blocked
So
on
you can
3
disagree with us,
accounts.
That's fine. I have no problem with that. However, if it becomes of a
I'll be
disrespectful
there
nature,
next time. I
then
get blocked
the
on
mods
8.
are instructed to get rid of you. So, you know, that's where it's at. Lovebug53, yes, hit that like button and subscribe. Maui Swift, Cami Burchetta saying transfer DNA. It's, you know,
Exactly.
Cami Burchetta, I understand.
She's
all that, but
right.
it's, you know,
No. Now you know.
There's other pieces of evidence. Go on.
There's
What cell
What other-
information?
what
You don't
other
understand
evidence?
anything about the cell information, buddy.
and we don't even know about.
Oh, we don't even
some
know
of the
about,
other
guys.
evidence the prosecution has that we are not privy to.
Fucking idiots all say the same
will
bullshit.
be convicted. Trial is next summer. You know, TK Sella, I will never ever predict a trial that goes in front of a jury because anything could happen. You know, and this is going to be
Shut up,
this
bitch.
case is not going on trial till June 2025.
This isn't going to
So
trial anyway.
many
Yeah,
things
less
could
than a
happen,
year.
before
The fuck's your
that date,
point?
including, is there a possibility that there could be a plea in this case?
Oh, God.
Is there?
Here we
And I
go.
believe there is, because there is always a huge risk when
He could plead not
the
guilty.
state goes for the death penalty, and many times jurors don't want to vote guilty because they feel that they are personally.
This is an ex-officer, y'all.
So, is there a chance?
This is how little evidence cops think
potentially
fucking people take plea deals on.
Parole. Fuzzy Doxy, thank you so much for the $9.99 super.
I want to know
Fucking
how many
morons.
people he arrested for
good to us.
driving a similar car somewhere
I
else.
want to know how many
Marie,
people are
we just
watching
give it-
this dumb shit right now.
NYPD police perspective. I love the
Like, how many
NYPD.
people are in
Right
there?
now there's
You guys do a
49,
great job.
but watch
Not
his
here.
show.
Everybody
quite
here
a
is cool
few.
as fuck.
Look,
I'm
I
talking about over
don't
there.
hide my bias to the police and to the prosecution. We fully advertise that this is.
Dude, if we had
true crime from a
fucking
police
these
perspective.
people's
I try to be
audience,
as fair as possible.
they
But I
probably
do
let Brian
err
out of
on the
fucking
side
jail.
of the prosecution, and as attorneys, err on the side of attorneys.
But because we have the opinions we have, we'll never be able to fucking
Just wait till he's
There's
out.
no confirmed video of his car.
not do anything they can.
SW Firefly, there actually is.
Oh, is there?
You could argue.
Is there?
That's his car. It's it's a
That's
white
not
Jeep, but how do
confirmed
know
then
it's
if you could
his
argue it,
How
you
do we know
fucking
that's his car?
moron.
argue that's his
Jesus
car.
Christ.
Taking a route to 1122 King Road. from
What'd they do?
Kohberger.
See the
Yes, there's
fucking
plenty of video. Again, you could argue. and the
watch
defense will
just
argue,
video?
how do we know it's his car? You know, and that's a good argument. Absolutely.
Look at the overlay.
Mike, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, Billy. If you got this guy's accused of
Bring King Moron back in,
the prosecution
please.
has to ask for the death penalty. If you don't ask for the death penalty in this kind of case, then you should never ask for the death penalty at all, because who is more worthy of the death penalty than someone who's killed 4 people? So they have to ask for the death penalty.
Maybe you should find somebody that
public
killed 4
probably
people.
wants
Maybe you
that.
should find the
However,
dude.
However, like you say, you may still get a conviction asking for the death penalty.
Or the
and when it
people.
comes to the second phase of the trial, if he's found guilty of homicide for these 4 individuals,
Hello?
however, in good conscience, I can't vote to put anybody to death. And you may end up, as you say, with a life behind bars without possibility of parole at the end of a lengthy trial, which is going to take all next summer and all that effort. I am sure that if I'm the prosecutor in this
Look at
case,
that fucking
and,
haircut.
Ann Taylor comes into my office with a cup of coffee and says, "Let's talk about this," I'm all ears. Families, the terrible torture of having to listen to some crime scene detectives talk about what they found at that horrific crime scene. It's a real
Who's talking right now? Is Gary talking?
So I think the families may actually be in favor of getting this case over.
Fucking guy hasn't updated his house since fucking 1890.
Complete in this case.
From the chat, Christina, and I think that is that Iacino, where he said he is not an alibi. An alibi needs someone or something to back up his claim. Christina Iacino,
Yeah,
100%
they tell
correct.
you who's
Preaching
going
to
to
the
be
choir, as
backing
we would
that
like
up,
to say.
though.
Jeff H,
Idiots.
understand how much was Payne required to say. It seems like it'd be his best interest to not say much to Ann Taylor. Look, this case is so far from being even
Jeff.
close to going to trial. We're talking June of 2020. Many things could happen between that time.
Like
Jen from the
what,
chat, because I
bitch? It's
vetted
been
myself
2
before I really
years.
got a hold of it.
Hey, it's
I'm
Psycho
100% on the
Jen.
dates of his bad behavior at WSU, 9/23, 10/3,
Who?
10/21, 11/2, and 11/3. Put on improvement plan, Idaho 4.
Psycho
and
Jen, that's the
Jen,
one who
you're
made
referring
up the
to
story that he
Brian
got fired
Kohberger's
on the
behavior
18th.
at Washington University. And in fact, he did lose his, I think he had a scholarship.
Yes.
He was kicked out of the school. So
I wonder why.
Considering what happened after that, that seems trivial. But if he wasn't accused of committing this crime, that would not be anything trivial with losing your scholarship to your PhD program, which I know he wasn't from.
He wouldn't have lost it, bitch.
So he needed that to continue his education.
No, I think they're saying
And
it
he, in
because
fact,
they believe
lost
that he got fired on the
financing
18th,
to
too.
his education.
And
So
she's
Jen,
literally the one
Jen
that
again,
spread that
Gary
shit.
Discovery shows Twilo number. It's his teacher's assistant contact number. Very serious. He had 2 phones. Jen, thank you for all this this new information, because I was
Twilio isn't
thank you for
2
all the
phones.
bullshit I just put out, Jen.
The Today Show.
Twilio isn't 2
Fuck,
phones.
dude.
During the early morning hours of the murder,
You guys are grasping at anything they can
that
get.
day, Madison Mogan, Kaylee Gonzalez, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin were found fatally stabbed in their off-campus home near the
And my
University of
mom
Idaho.
told me this
The
yesterday.
judge entered a not guilty plea on Kohberger's behalf. Prosecutors say DNA left on a knife sheet found at the home was a statistical match to Kohberger's. But the process they used to find the match using relatives' DNA from genetic genealogy companies is under fire from Kohberger's defense.
So then how's it a
Attorneys
match?
are now asking the judge to let their investigators review the
How do you
FBI
get a
materials.
match
The
on a
prosecutors say
partial
led them to
sample?
Kohberger and to unseal parts of those
How's there
DNA
no
records.
partial print?
We go from here. The legal maneuverings playing out in slow motion for the victims' families eager.
Oh,
for
he didn't
trial
touch it?
That's right. We may never get
Was it just a shred of skin?
appear back in court tomorrow. His legal team is fighting to get the judge to make another upcoming hearing open to the public. All eyes, though, are on whether this case will eventually get moved out of Latah County entirely. That hearing is set for late next month, guys. All right, Liz.
So, that's another issue that we have been facing, is that,
Shut up,
of
bitch.
course, the defense wants this case to be
Fucking guy,
moved
dude.
out of Latah County. And the prosecution wants it to stay in Latah County because they feel that the community
Because
deserves
they
to follow
require
this case
a
through,
biased
since the whole
jury to
community
convict.
was basically traumatized and affected by this quadruple murder in their neighborhood. That
Yeah, no shit,
not
jackass. That's
many
why it shouldn't happen
communities in
there.
this entire world see a quadruple homicide, especially of 4 college kids. Mike.
Well, my man Taylor, you got to know she's dying to get it out of Latah County and get over to Boise, and the county, I guess, which Boise, the state capital, sits in, because she wants a greater variety of people there, and she thinks that maybe when it comes to the jury, even if they get a conviction, she may hope that there may be several people on the jury who may be totally against the death penalty, secretly against the death penalty. Now, in Latah County, there, according to our American legal tradition, the trial is always held in the state and district wherein the crime took place, and so that's part of our legal tradition. Latah County is supposed to have the trial there. As far as Bill
Legal
Thompson is
tradition
concerned,
also
he
allows
can't guarantee
to
to
move.
judge that you can pick 12 people who've never heard this case. But he'll definitely say, "Look,
What's up with the
Your Honor,
cameras?
there's many
The
people
camera on
who have not made
StreamYard.
up their minds yet, and
What do you
they're
mean?
willing to give Kohberger
I don't know. Every
a fair
time
shake. Just hear him out, hear what he has
my
to say,
back
and
camera
vote
is always
for the
inverted.
based on what the evidence
I'm
is
trying to
presented.
figure out how
I think
cameras
we can still
invert
find
themselves
people
like
to do
that. Like,
I hope that motion is defeated.
It's probably the
Let's say what I
motion is
mean.
defeated, and it does take
Hold on.
place in Latah County. But either way, there is. I
Like,
think even if you're in
my
Boise,
right
Idaho,
foot's
you're
over
gonna
my
have a
left
lot of
foot
people
right
look
now.
at the DNA
Watch
evidence,
it.
the cell phone evidence, and say, that's beyond a reasonable doubt. That's proof beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yep, absolutely. Scott Messerschmidt.
Okay, that looks all right.
Destroy your name and
But
pronunciation.
then,
How do they know family member could have submitted their
if I
DNA allowing
do-
GenMatch access, giving them access to your DNA? Well, Scott, they also they recovered DNA.
this says
surfaces, I don't know
0.
that word. They took it from the garbage of the
See, now it
Kohberger's
looks-
home in Pennsylvania.
now it looks
and the
backwards.
DNA turned out to be the father's DNA. And from there,
That's not-
they
that's my
built
left.
the genealogical tree. I don't think they had to go to GenMatch or any of those other things. They surreptitiously, for example, if I'm
It looks more
I'd
normal.
say, I don't know, a fast food restaurant, which I don't go to, by the way.
Right,
But-
right.
And someone wants my DNA and they see me throw out a straw and they see exactly what that straw is and they grab it. I have no expectation of privacy to that straw because I threw it out. So it's fair game. Someone can pick the garbage and get that straw, and they can now test it for DNA, which they did for the bottles in the
figured it out.
Kohberger's garbage. And they didn't need a search warrant to get that, and they recovered the DNA.
That's how they fucking got Karen
This
Reed.
reminds us of Rex Uerman in the Gilgo Beach case, when they got his DNA off a pizza crust of a discarded pizza box. And that's how they first identified his DNA, because no one in this case, Brian Kohberger, no one in the Gilgo Beach case was in CODIS, the combined DNA index system run by the
Exactly,
FBI.
Victorine.
So they surreptitiously obtained the DNA, and that's how they built the genealogical family tree and identified
That's how they did it.
DNA on the knife sheath to Brian Kohberger.
It's
That's pretty good,
100%
Mike. I think I
Brian's
explained it pretty
DNA.
well.
You did a great job.
Maybe I should
You
go back
heard
to-
it
I should go back to
on
teaching
police
again.
off the cuff, not
Yeah,
from
yeah,
me,
you'd be a
because
great teacher.
I
Yeah,
couldn't
that was
say
it.
that.
Once they remember he had his license plate early on. They were getting cell phone information. They were following him across country. At that point, they only had one piece of DNA. They had the knife sheath. Okay, and so people don't realize that they followed him across country. They surreptitiously, like you said, get the DNA from his father in the garbage. And at that point, they realized the DNA on the garbage in Pennsylvania was a male relative of a really close male relative of the person, of the unknown male DNA that they had from the knife sheath. And so therefore, that was the final, bit of evidence that they needed in order to get that arrest warrant. And they did the arrest warrant. And then after that, they got the search warrant for the buccal swab, and that tied everything to a nice neat bow. But you're absolutely
Shut up,
right. This case, although we talk about the DNA and the cell phone, originally what they had was a white Hyundai. That would start out that simple. And the police just kept going at it nonstop, and they got the
White
a little bit of
Hyundai
DNA with
on
that knife sheath, and
a,
then that
infrared
combined
camera.
with the Hyundai, and then they figured out his phone.
Forget
they did
that
all
part.
tracking. So it really started with just the image of a Hyundai. Fantastic stuff, and then you build upon that, and you end up with the DNA match. It was fantastic.
Absolutely. Angel D, I do find it a little strange that none of BK, Brian Kohberger's DNA was in the garbage. I think because he was taking the garbage that he personally produced and throwing it in his
Oh, he was
neighbor's
just doing
garbage
it
pail.
so intentionally, and he
Oh,
was
you're
so
so
good
good.
at knowing which
So
items had
that's
his
Now he's
DNA on
studying-
it that he
This was
separated it
studying
out.
DNA.
with his father. And I want you to look at his right hand.
And he just
DNA.
looks. He just looks at stuff and knows. Like Brian
Looks
Kohberger is that
like a
good.
cut. Like
He's the
just
fucking
knows.
man, the most interesting man in the world. He can do it all.
Twice to get footage of both him.
He could fight.
Oh my
he could
God,
I
his
fucking-
think that
hands.
totally is.
He's
cut.
John
That would
Wick.
indicate to me that he cut.
But he's also
He
done the
cut himself.
I would say
You
if he
do
did
realize that
cut
was like a
himself,
month
then
after
where
the
is blood?
crimes. If
Why
he
didn't
cut
they find
himself,
his
it would
blood
have healed
anywhere? Let me go back
already.
to that.
Police identified Kohberger as a suspect in the quadruple killings when officials recovered a knife sheath left by the side of one of the victims. Court documents were unsealed just minutes before Kohberger appeared for a court hearing in Idaho. Investigators
I think we should have a
single source
police
of male
off and see
DNA
who's
left on the
better,
button
this
stem of the
guy,
knife sheath.
Payne,
FBI
or
surveillance team was
Daniel.
tracking the 28-year-old and his father. The two were on a trip
We could
together
come up
to
with like some
Washington University,
policing
Pennsylvania.
games
The
and
FBI
have them
asked Indiana
compete.
police to pull the suspect over while he was driving. Kohberger and his father were pulled over by police twice in a 9-minute time frame.
Kohberger is a doctoral student studying criminal justice at the Washington State University campus, which is roughly 15 minutes away from the University of Idaho in Moscow, Idaho. He was arrested for suspected involvement in the murders of 4 University of Idaho students. Investigators believe Kohberger stalked the victims before the November attack. Cell phone tracking records indicate
Yeah, I'll be right back. I need to go get my pen. I'm getting fucking anxiety.
Late at night or in the early morning hours. The
I wanna
suspect
fight
is
these
charged with 4
fucks.
counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of felony burglary.
You know, Mike, I forgot about that. He was found, or they have evidence that he visited 1122 King Road 12 times.
Oh, they
prior to
do.
the
They do
murders.
have evidence
Okay,
of that.
Circumstantial evidence, but powerful
Oh,
circumstantial evidence.
is it?
That's
Because
stalking.
they actually
That is
don't
recon.
have him by the
What
house.
does it mean to
12
recon,
times.
Mike?
Recon is basically, it's like the
Oh,
idea that
man.
you're planning. You've got a plan in your head and you're going about looking at it. Like, you got to go there, excuse me, not in the afternoon, but you're going to go there maybe once in the afternoon, but you're going to go there a lot of times at night to see what you can see through open windows with the lights on inside. The curtains aren't drawn. Who's coming in and out? You could sit there. You know, it's a pretty busy place. So I would imagine a young man in a car with a textbook could be just sitting there pretending to be reading a textbook and watching what the comings and goings in that house. So the police believe that's part of his the modus operandi that he used in order to take care of this crime.
Absolutely. Sue Joy, thank you for this question. What's the benefit of staying silent or entering a not guilty plea? Well, staying silent is recommended if you're a defendant in anything, because you don't want to implicate yourself by running at the mouth. And, you know, a smart defendant will.
This is most likely what they were able to see. 12 previous times he utilized cellular resources that provide coverage to the house, meaning he connected to a tower, which it might be this one. But this covers all of Moscow and all the way over to Floyd's. So how can you pinpoint any location of where he was when all you can see is the tower that he connected to? Thanks for the info, Bill. Continue.
Request an attorney. We'll lawyer up, as we say in the biz. Everyone should always enter a not guilty plea.
In the biz.
Initially.
What up?
And if down the road, depending on what crime it is, if you think it's to your benefit,
They just
change
said that
not
they
guilty plea
have
to a
him
guilty plea
at
in
the
order to
house
get some
12
plea bargain.
previous times.
That will not be, well, the only way that will be the case here is if he is offered a plea in lieu of getting the death penalty. So if he wishes to not get the death penalty, and the prosecutor goes to the defense attorney and says, listen, and I think if Bill Thompson is in fact going to do that, and he's the Latah County District Attorney, I believe that he would first consult with the families. And by no way would he be steered by their demand that he go for the death penalty, but he would let them know, look, this is my intention and this is why I'm going to do it. And I still believe that there is a possibility that that could be laid on the table at a later date, because look, a death penalty, even if you get a conviction, it could take 15, 20, 25 years for it to be implemented. And during that time, there could be appeals and appeals and appeals, and they could pull back the death penalty. So a life sentence, with a case like this, I would like 4 100-year sentences consecutive served.
Yeah, don't worry, bro. I take acid too.
400 years. But we've seen, especially in New
Fucking
York,
people are
we've seen
delusional.
cop killers sentenced to life without parole, and they're releasing them with impunity now. So it makes me sick. But so that's why with a case like this, if he
Karen Reed didn't kill her fucking boyfriend, jackass.
400 years. So because he
Trying
never,
to
ever
kill
gets parole. Mind
an
you,
innocent person.
Yeah, Bill,
without
good question
proof.
by the viewer, because there actually is no real advantage or disadvantages of saying not guilty, Your Honor. Staying silent is just a way to say not guilty without saying it, and the judge will automatically enter a not guilty plea.
It's crazy how they're not
Occasionally,
killing
you will
these
get a
innocent
criminal
people.
defendant who will absolutely
That's
not speak
these
to
guys
anybody,
sound
not
like
even their
fucking
own
tyrants,
attorney,
bro.
and they'll go through the entire trial and everything. So it won't stop any of the processes from happening. It's just his way and Ann Taylor's way of handling things, and that's just the way it goes. I think you're right.
Everybody should
Bill
die.
Thompson will absolutely talk to the families about this, and I would imagine that at this point, a year and a half after the crime happened, almost getting on 2 years now, they just want this ordeal to be over. And I think they would be satisfied if he just got sent away, never to be heard from again. And I think they might actually be satisfied. You always got to take their feelings into consideration.
Ain't
Just
gonna
talk to them
happen,
before you
son.
do anything like that. But yeah, I would expect John Judge to make him
The
allocate
family
and
would
talk
take
about
a
each
fucking
and
plea
every
deal
crime
in a
he committed that
heartbeat.
night,
Are you
so that
kidding
it's
me?
completely on the record. I've seen plea bargains reached and people plead guilty and they don't allocute, and I think that's wrong. I want the judge to sit there
Steve
and enforce
Gonzalez
that
to be the
bargain and say,
first one to fucking
I will not
be like,
accept your
yep.
guilty plea until you actually speak. I want to hear what you did.
Kill
People should
Brian
look up online and see
Kohberger.
the BTK killers allocution. It's hair raising, it's scary, but I think it's
telling you,
absolutely
bro.
necessary for people to see the evil that he did, and I would like
As
to see
much
that
as
in the
Steve
Kohberger
says,
case.
absolutely,
we
folks.
wouldn't accept his
Professor
plea,
Geary used
the
the term of
fuck they wouldn't.
allocution. Basically, what that is is to admit to
He knows how little evidence they
statute
have.
in the
He ain't
crime, every
stupid.
single subdivision, and admit to every single thing you did. So you don't just say, "Oh yes, I did it." No, you go over.
Like,
how
I know
you did
people
it,
that are
when you did it,
stupid, and
why
I know
you
people
did
that
it.
are actually,
And
you know,
that
that
gets in
act
the court
stupid,
record.
bro.
So down the
There's a
road,
difference.
if the defendant tries to appeal, wait a minute, we have your guilty plea here, and you allocuted, and you admitted to doing all these horrific things. So that word allocution is a great word. It's a legal word, and that's why they do that. Jeff H., do you think the female officer that pulled over
Oh,
Brian
God.
Kohberger 30 days prior to the
There
murder
he
would have
is.
remembered the conversation? The man, the Elantra,
Never
no
fucking
crosswalk in
fails.
Pennsylvania, maybe she assisted. Jeff, I don't know that to be a fact, but look,
What
it's
did
on
you just
video,
say?
so I don't
Back
see
up?
why she would even have to
Oh,
remember it.
it's on there.
It's all videotaped. And that's been the Elantra, no crosswalks in Pennsylvania. Maybe she assisted. Jeff, I don't know that to be a fact, but look, it's on video, so I don't see why she would even have to remember it. It's all videotaped.
Do you think the female officer that pulled over 30 days prior to the murders would have remembered the conversation?
Welcome everyone here, and again, if you're not subscribed,
Yeah.
right on the screen, just hit that
For
subscribe
fucking-
button. So we'd love to have you.
When they
be
pull
part of
over
the
college kids all day long.
Yeah, for not giving them a ticket. That's what she's gonna
Firefly,
remember.
when
Do
you
you remember
say
the
wrong,
guy
what are
that
you
you didn't
referring
give a
to?
ticket to? Oh yeah.
Jen, 1118, Brian registered tags for Washington. It was simply time. I do think he
Fucking
planned it
dumb
to
question to
fall
ask and pay
within
money
this
for.
time frame, though.
Jackass.
Yeah, I think that he changed his
He
Washington
planned the
plates to
whole
Pennsylvania
crime
plates.
around when his plates
I don't know
expired.
if Washington or Pennsylvania. I know
That's what
Pennsylvania only
happened.
requires one plate.
Jen
I think the
solved
rear
it.
plate doesn't require a front plate, and possibly Washington is the same. New York requires you to have a front
Here's
and rear
$5.
plate. So,
Watch my video.
I don't know why that is, but that is a fact in New York. Now with license plate readers, maybe they'll all be details matter. SW Firefly, and that's an exaggeration to be fair. I don't know
Ooh,
what you're
SW
referring to
Firefly.
SW
about
Firefly,
allocution,
bringing it.
whether or not
Firefly.
he will plead guilty if it comes
Mother
to that.
Firefly.
Breaking Chains TC. I think he was figuring out where to park, where he would go in and go out, etc. Very possible.
Of the
very
park
possible.
or-
Look, I know
or
a
what?
lot of you guys in the
Breaking
chat, you're
Chains?
deep thinkers, you're real true crime followers, and many of you know a lot about this case. Tons about
His
this case. Some of you know a
chat's
lot
got
more than
some
me
deep
in regards
thinkers.
to some of the
You
facts and
go get 'em,
circumstances,
Sheriff.
because there's so much to know in this case. Truth Seeker, there's no way he could keep his DNA out of all of the garbage. His family would have his DNA on their hands too. Truth Seeker, what we're saying is the FBI collected the DNA.
I think his name was also
surreptitiously from bottles
Vidal.
that were discarded. They have his DNA was all over the house, of course, but to get the DNA, they got it before he was arrested. So that they the garbage. That's all we're saying. So that DNA was processed, and that's
but the
when they got
buccal
ball
swab
rolling in
came
regards
after.
to a
So
genealogical family tree profile. Mike.
Yeah, Billy, they did it surreptitiously because once you put your garbage out, the Supreme Court has ruled that the United States Supreme Court has ruled years ago, once you put your garbage out at the end of your driveway, that sort of thing, you have no privacy interest in it because you know someone else is going to come along, a third person, like a sanitation worker, is going to come along and take it. So therefore, you have no privacy in your garbage whatsoever. Handle it and see it. So that's what they did. They took advantage of that that great Supreme Court ruling, and therefore they're able to do that. They did.
I want to know why
as you said, in the
keeps glitching on my
procurement
slides.
case with the pizza box, and other things. And they did it with other times, getting other members of the Yerman family their DNA. They were watching that house for several days because they, this was the person they were focusing on. And once they got that the DNA from a napkin or something, I think it was, that they believed was a close male relative to the person who, heretofore unidentified person that they got the DNA off that knife sheath. They had that match, and that was perfect. And that was a really close match. So they knew it was a close male relative. Okay, that's probably a father and a son. Okay, who's the son? The son is, oh my God, that's Brian Kohberger, the guy who owns the White Elantra, who we're following across country. So
Yo, you're just walking around.
And then after they made the
Check out
arrest,
this rock
then
I
they did the
found.
buckle swab, which proved 100% it was theirs. But that's how it worked. And
Show
it all fell into place.
Fine, but the fucking camera, dude.
They didn't get other garbage from
the light.
any other person down the street or
nice.
anybody like that. It was his garbage, the garbage that belonged to his family.
Dude, Peter doesn't
They
even
were
have
watching
shit like
him,
that. What the
probably for
fuck?
48 hours before they moved in. They were just waiting for information, and they got the
Dude, dark as
DNA
fuck out,
results
look.
back. But they did see him acting very strangely, washing his car, throwing out his garbage with gloves on. Because you got to
What the
figure,
fuck?
he
This
was
might be a
stopped
lucky
twice by
rock.
the police in like 10 minutes in Indiana on Route 80 going eastbound across country with his dad. That, he's not
It's like
stupid. He knows
granite.
something's up. And so therefore, when he got home, he washed his car completely, probably inside and out several times. He took all the
Yeah,
garbage
he
that
wouldn't
had,
have
he put
washed
into a
it
bag, wearing gloves at 2 o'clock in the
beforehand,
morning. That's rather strange behavior.
That's kind of
But they got him.
stupid to wait till you
Absolutely.
get pulled over when
Jen,
you already
I'm
have a
glad
month
you're
to
really
clean.
from the chat. You're raising some really interesting points here. Dr.
Oh
Ramsland
my
wrote a book on BTK.
God, he
Brian took online
studied
classes
under
Ramsland. This is why I
Ramsland,
don't
so
think
he's a
Brian was confused
BTK
about
expert.
who was home. BTK first attacked 4 people. Yes, I think he
Well,
studied. He studied.
I had
other serial
a
killers,
baseball
and I think
coach, and I didn't make it in the MLB.
12
So
visits to 1122 King Road, as verified by
BTK didn't intend
That's
to
not
be
accident.
4 victims.
That's
The
called
dude
what we call in law
or the dad and the 2
as
kids came
reconnaissance.
home.
He was planning to do something in the future.
really,
That's why he visited there 12
Yeah,
times.
he
checking
was
it out.
intending
He was
to kill
seeing
the mom, and then
best
the
times to
dad
do things.
brought
When
the
were they
2
home?
kids
When were they
back
not
home.
home? What times were they?
Brian went there
Were they all late night
intending
hours?
to kill. We don't
What
fucking
days
know
or
who.
What nights did they have
Because he
parties
didn't
there?
fucking know
After all,
anybody.
1122 King Road was
Dude,
known for
imagine if he
parties, and
went
that,
to
you
the
know,
park
of course the
with an
defense is going to
intention to
use
kill, and
that
there was just nobody there.
Oh, this was a party. How do we know that Brian Kohberger didn't attend one of those parties there? How do we know that? And then maybe he could have left the sheath that night when he was there with permission and authority. There's a trick. I didn't want to give
Still
that.
doesn't make sense why he didn't commit this.
That could be used.
Like,
I mean, they're using
That was
alibi
so
was
clever,
stargazing,
Bill. They would have never
to a
thought
party
of
locked,
that.
You know, so why not say maybe he was invited to a party? The
Jesus
defense
Christ.
is allowed to do things like that.
I just don't get why nobody's asking the question of why didn't he commit this
We're
act
giving you a lot of
like
you famous in the chat tonight. Jeff
people he
H.
would have
Short,
seen
one-sided
on his
comment report
campus
right
that he
now.
taught.
BT will go ham during trial. Laugh out loud. I
Bill
don't
T
think,
will
look,
go ham
I think in
during
these
trial.
Really big cases, I think the defense attorney.
I'm waiting to see it.
Will tell their client, do not testify. And we saw recently in a very major case in South Carolina with Alec Murdoch, he discarded all advice from his attorneys and he testified. And you saw what happened, right? Although he may wind up getting a new trial because of improprieties by the court, but
how dare you do that, Meg?
He gets cleared of it. He's still going to do life in prison for his financial crimes that he did. And again, the judge may not give him a new trial, but there's a possibility he could be given a new trial because of improprieties that happened.
Heard I would have got away with it if it wasn't for that Snapchat.
With one of the people that worked there. Patricia Siebold.
He would have.
BK didn't stargaze. How stupid does Antel think we are? BK slaughtered these precious ones.
Where did the jury go in that trial? Twist?
To the
Look, I know
house?
there's a lot of people. And I respect people's opinions. There's people in this chat that think Brian Kohberger is innocent. And you have
Imagine.
The alibi doesn't say he was stargazing.
Pam Wolger.
either.
I live in Moscow. I'm not convinced they have the right guy. My daughter said, "Don't tell
Just the
anyone
fact that
about
they
it."
went
Honestly, not
to the
convinced.
crime scene
Pam,
is all I
that is
need
your
to hear.
Hey,
absolute right.
Pam,
I'm sure
get
you have
it.
many reasons to think that way.
I wish Pam
disagree with you,
watched
but
me
you have every
then.
reason to do that. Patty Gee, a theory I heard, sister figured out it was BK after news reports told dad, who then flew to Washington to drive back car to Pennsylvania with BK to get rid of car and help son.
Nope,
That's
they
a
bought the
distinct
plane ticket
possibility
before
that
Brian
that
even
could
arrived in
absolutely happen.
Pullman.
Let me
So.
put this
Oh
up
my
on the screen.
God,
This
these
is
Patty
fucking
G,
people.
you're done.
It's amazing. It's amazing how behind people are after fucking 2 years.
Testify that Brian Kohberger's mobile device was south of Pullman, Washington, and west of Moscow, Idaho, on November 13th, 2022, and that Brian Kohberger's mobile device did not travel east on the Moscow-Pullman highway in the early morning hours.
Which
of November 13th,
Cyray
and thus
can
could not
track
be the
this,
vehicle
by the
captured on
way.
video along the Moscow-Pullman highway near Floyd's cannabis
Even
shop.
though he
Now,
wasn't
in this
making a
notice of
phone
alibi,
call or
Kohberger
texting
explains how he
anyone.
moved to Washington from Pennsylvania in June of 2022 and was an avid runner and hiker, so he'd often explore the area, often late at night. One place he
And
frequented
if these
was
fucks think
Wawawai
that, like,
Park near Pullman,
I'm
where
not
he was
coming
speaking
back
Washington.
and
Look at
making
the
them look like
gate.
a
Look at the
jackass.
gate. It's in the same position.
After this trial, then they're sadly mistaken, bro.
Former prosecutor. He has prosecuted death penalty cases in the past. Andy, this alibi, I call it alibi-ish because
No fucking
Brian
way.
Kohberger's not naming any witnesses who can actually vouch for him. So what does that mean for this filing?
Well, who the fuck's gonna?
The Idaho Criminal Code requires that if you're going to use an alibi defense, you have to file notice of it. This is part of that process. And the whole idea is
If you're going to use an alibi
really kind of on notice
defense,
of what
but
it
they're
is
not
you're
using an
so they
alibi
compare,
defense.
to
And
So why
just
are we
to
even talking about
fuck
it?
with you guys because you guys are
whatever that
idiots.
defense is going to be. So typically,
Exactly.
from a prosecution point of view, what you like to see with
If
an alibi
this, if
is,
that.
with a notice of alibi,
Let's look at
some
the
level of
facts.
specificity. And what I see here is this is just kind of a general plea. Hey, the defendant was out in the country in the middle of the night, looking at the moon, looking at stars. From a prosecutor point of view, I certainly would respond and ask for more specificity. I would ask for specific witnesses who may be able to prove his comings and goings.
Witness,
They
bitch.
did list a witness that they're going to.
I'll hang out with nobody.
Where he was through
Like,
phone
if I go
records.
take a drive right now on my fucking shit, who's gonna back? Like, who's gonna vouch to me,
I
bro?
think they're going to want a specific person who can
I
actually
don't understand
testify to
this.
That's what I'm.
You got a
guessing they
guy
mean by
out in a
witness
fucking
person,
state he moved
that
to
can be
5 months
there. I'm
prior.
also seeing that they say
Like,
he was at this favorite spot of his. It's
who the
Wawawai
fuck's gonna
Park.
vouch for him at
And
3 in the
this became
morning,
a
4 in the
favorite spot
morning?
of his as he moved from Washington or from Pennsylvania to
Dumb fucks.
Washington in June of 2022. This is somewhere he frequented. He was a
I
night
guess
owl,
this
so
guy
he would frequently
fucking
go on these drives, and he actually had photos, including
goes
in
everywhere with
November
somebody,
of
never alone.
2022,
All these people are
that
never
the same one of the
alone.
murders of the sky and of the moon and the stars. So this
Nope.
guy's out and about at night, late at night in the early morning hours, according to the defense, taking pictures of the stars and the moon at this park. So does that help him that this is somebody who is out and about at times in the middle of the night?
God, I hope he has fucking pictures, bro. I can't. Oh my God.
But again, it doesn't provide enough specificity to actually prove that he was somewhere else at the time of the murders. As a matter of fact, when I prosecute cases,
Like, I hope there's a
I
fucking
like
picture that he took that
because
that got deleted that fucking Ann can find.
what they may or may not do with respect to
Well,
the case.
according to
Shit like
Garrett, they
that.
have
There's a couple
one.
different things I look
He
for.
doesn't
One
say
is
it's
you
during
get a
that
notice
night,
of
but I
alibi
kind of
that
think it
shows
is.
that your defense is going to be, you're just going to throw anything you can against the wall. So
And they're fucked.
And again, that's kind of what you see here. It's just kind of an absurd story. This guy likes to just go out in the middle of the night and take pictures of the moon.
Yeah,
and the
bitch,
sky.
I'm about to
I'm
go
not
take a
saying
ride
you
after I get
also have
off
to
here on my
respect that
fucking bike. So what the fuck?
missing you've got to
Is
deal
it
with
Like, what are
weird
these
to go
fucks talking about?
driving
the
at
exact same
night?
car that we know is over in the area of the murders.
I guess.
Just to say that he was out.
I mean, I was riding around at 1 a.m.
He's
that
actually
fucking
not
night.
murdered, and he's out just driving around the countryside. It's just absurd. The other thing that
Just
with respect
absurd.
to a notice of alibi,
I
is
guess.
a lot of times it can kind of indicate whether or not.
I mean, I was the only one on the street, but still, you know.
Alibi notices where look, the only way this
I wanted to go for a ride.
is if the defendant takes a stand. And what you're seeing here is they put this expert that they're going to try to use to show the phone records. That indicates to me that again,
I want to take a short break from this.
So that's in the words of a prosecutor. I'm going to go to the chat. Emily Parkinson, we have to wait for the trial. We don't know about all of the evidence they
He's
have.
a flight risk,
The
all
state
right.
would be going for the death penalty trial if they didn't have strong evidence.
Really?
Tiffany Crockett, there is no connection
Because I
between these
don't
victims
think there's strong
and my client,
evidence at
period.
all.
This guy's a fucking lunatic.
That's interesting. Jeff H. Bill, do you think the female officer that pulled over?
Oh, here goes Jeff again, spending his fucking money.
Could that have sped up things? Yes, absolutely.
Fuck me, Bill.
Hi, Tiffany Crockett. Good to see you, American Princess. Tiffany, let's find the real Tiffany Crockett. Let's find the real person. Tanya, follow the story from the
American
beginning.
Princess.
I believe they most
She's
definitely
here,
have the
right?
wrong guy. 100% wrong guy. We still want answers for the other
Hey,
guys. Well,
Tanya,
you're
what's
100%
up?
Entitled to your opinion. Jen, other random.
I'm going
weird
over there
things
next
Tiffany
time.
O'Brien
Just
had
talk
to
shit
read
now.
regarding 923 first altercation. Some time frame. Jim Pam Colbert found the skull.
He won't know
wrapped
it's me,
by the
though.
mailbox. Pam retired from vet med at Washington State University. Oh. Stefania, I believe that one of his sisters said out loud to his family members that he may be the one who did it. Yeah, all of this circumstantial evidence.
Oh, here we go.
It's there, but it's not anything that they're going to use in the trial for sure.
All the stories from the beginning. I can start my own channel. I believe
Love Bug
most
53 is a
definitely
smart
have the
guy who
wrong
might
guy.
get away
Start a
with this.
channel, Tanya.
Patty Gee, it was reported early on that 2 women's IDs were found inside a glove inside a box in his Elantra. Haven't heard about it, but maybe at trial. There's a lot of things that are.
Oh, I'm on a frozen screen. I guess that comment was a long time ago.
About this, there's that guy Howard Bloom that wrote a book, and everyone's got him on the station as if he's some crime expert.
Tanya's comments still up here on my screen.
With the help of the warden, but
No,
yet
it's gone.
everyone's having him on their shows like he's this crime expert. No, he's a good writer. That's it. He's not a crime expert at any of this stuff. So to
Are you
recap,
guys crime
basically, we're
experts?
going over the alibi.
I'm about to hit this pen so I can
That'd
chill
be
out, bro.
pretty
'Cause I'm
scary.
fucking
It was probably a bad.
losing it.
It's probably not even close to going to be used.
These fucks do so much harm with
As
this
we
shit.
said, like there's many people in the chat tonight that believe that Brian Kohberger is innocent, and that's fine. That's fine.
It's because there's no evidence,
They all
jackass.
have their opinions, and you can believe.
He's
it,
like
but,
smiling.
Tiffany Crockett.
Oh,
had
I
to
can't
keep
wait till
saying
defamation.
If I tell you the
This is
sky's
happening.
red tomorrow,
That's what
you're gonna
his
believe me?
defense said. They were claiming that's what he does.
No,
at night.
because there's
He
no
drives around
fucking evidence of it being
in
red.
below zero weather and goes hiking and
Fucking
apartments
idiot.
closed and locked. So they sort of made a mistake with that. Folks, I want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. I think this case is so beyond.
Or maybe it is red. You know what I fucking mean.
I always like to say at this point in the show, we always want to
What's
remember
red?
these young students here, the victims in this case. Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogan, Zana Konodal, and Ethan Chapin.
If you really
and their
cared about
families,
them, you would
we
want
pray
the
for them
right
and their
guy.
souls. Mike, your final thoughts.
Final thoughts. I'm glad that people are very interested in this case and are really analyzing this stuff because that's excellent. I think
Yeah, you
part of
should
the
try
issue
it,
that people have
Michael.
is
Yeah,
that
right?
because
Try it
there's
out
been such a
someday,
good
bud.
lockdown.
Professor
fucking get
Michael
some work.
Lockdown
Geary.
information. Everybody's
Do
obeying
your
the
homework,
judge's
buddy.
orders not to disclose things to the press. So there really hasn't been a lot of leaks whatsoever. And so therefore, people are, and we do too, because we're trying to get information. Sometimes
That's what I'm saying. I guess why.
But
If I
if
say
there was
it's
a lot more
fucking
information, people might feel slightly differently about
purple,
the case.
how's
But
that?
you know what? There's nothing wrong with analyzing the case from several different sides and thinking about what may have happened, what may not have happened, and questioning the evidence. That's what you're supposed to do, and that's a good thing. So it's that's part of our system is that we get to actually
Thank God there's people like that. You fuck.
prove their case because Brian is not presumed guilty. He's got the
Stay the
statutory
fuck
presumption
off
of innocence.
every
So
jury
therefore,
panel.
It's on the onus is on the government to prove their case, and hopefully we'll see a good case starting next summer.
Absolutely. Folks, I want to thank all the new people I see in
It's
the
not
chat
going
tonight.
to trial.
And just if you could do me a favor, if you like the show, just hit that subscribe button that's on the screen. And
Nobody liked your show,
very
bro,
healthy conversation
except Jeff.
tonight. A lot of dissenting opinions, which is fine. I really like that as long as it's respectful. So, folks, have a wonderful night. I'm Bill Cannon from Police Off the Cuff on behalf of myself, Professor Mike Geary, and the Police Off the Cuff family.
I'd
Have a great
say
night.
we should have
God
a,
bless it.
a nice night too, but he said it, so I think he's wrong.
Fucking weirdo.
I think he's
If that was
wrong.
if that was my grandfather, I'd kick his ass. Oh, just saying.
Yeah.
Bunch of fucking lunatics, dude. Telling you, man, this shit. I mean, in some instances, it's good that some information could be uncovered other than law enforcement shit. But like shit like this, dude, when they just continuously pollute the public with bullshit. Holy fuck. When's it gonna end? What, like why are they why are they still talking about this case if a trial date's set? If it's Brian and it's Brian only and can't be anybody else, why are they still talking about it?
I don't know.
Imagine that.
Let's just reiterate.
Oh no, it's because they don't truly believe, bro, that he's fucking guilty.
Oh look, it's locked.
Oh,
There's a closed and locked gate for you guys.
Double down on this one.
Closed and locked gate.
I'm always fucking talking. What the fuck's wrong with me?
Wait for that closed and locked gate.
That's why, like, I don't mind jail, but I couldn't do the whole being in a cell by myself forever. I need to talk to some people.
Right. Here we are.
Yeah, that would be rough.
Looks like the gate is wide open again, folks.
Wow.
Mom was wrong again.
How's it open? I thought it was closed and locked. Bill and Professor Geary told me it was closed and locked at night.
Geary wasn't there to close it that night.
I don't know what happened.
He's the gatekeeper.
Hey, Professor Geary or Bill, if you could, reach out and explain to me how that gate is locked and closed at night, I'd greatly appreciate it because I can't find it.
People can't go and figure out, if their information they're putting out is true or not.
I can't find it.
Oh my god!
Where is it at? I want to see a closed and locked gate. I've been told so much about it.
Fucking liar.
Hey, if you guys want to have fun, you guys should all go over to Daniel's chat and start asking him to zoom out and show what other buildings are around Fulmer Hall, and then point out that why would he have bleached his car if he had the chemicals to clean it?
Bleached his car? What?
Yeah, he said that he was bleaching his car in the garage 3 times, and that's why his sister reported him, right?
Oh my fucking god! Is this it? Oh my god! Oh my god. Bro, I'm about to bring his fucking sister on so Daniel can never fucking talk about fucking Brian's sister doing this or Brian's sister doing that. Because I'm getting fucking sick of this shit. Like he's about to make me fucking reach out to him. I'm not fucking playing either.
Yeah.
Because I'll fucking do it. And I'll put all these stupid fucking narratives to rest. Yo, did you call fucking the police on your brother? No. Did you do this? No. All right, have a good night. That's all I need. Remember, dude, Rich fucking is really good friends with Brian's sister and really good friends with the other sister. So it could happen any fucking time. It's just, there's not a need right now for me to contact Brian Kohberger's sisters that are probably going through enough. But these fucks are fucking pissing me off, dude.
I know.
Bringing them into it and shit. Like,
wait, OCD Shaggy is here?
OCD?
What? Where the hell have you been, bro?
Where the fuck you been, Shaggy?
Hey, Shaggy, we need some alibis and we need you to file an alibi, bro. Where you been? Where you been at? Hey, Bill, read the first alibi. It says that it is anticipated this evidence may be offered by way of cross-examination of witnesses produced by the state, as well as calling expert witnesses. They told you in July of 2023 what the alibi was, son. Well, they didn't give specific witnesses. That's because they don't know who the state used. But they said they're going to use them. Bill, if you actually read.
Yeah.
These people are clowns.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm dying.
Hi.
All right, I'm good. I don't want to fight anymore. See that?
Well, that's all I really had to talk about tonight. We got something else? We're going to do Dinkies on Court TV tomorrow, right?
What?
We're going to do Dinkies Court TV stuff tomorrow?
Yeah. Better not push that shit back again.
Oh, no.
Because. So wait, is Turkey Boy live right now?
I think so. He's supposed to be.
Fucking I ain't watching that shit, bro. Because like I said, everything he says, I know he says just to get fucking reactions or just to please fucking the people that are paying him or whatever. So
I think he believes
it's not authentic. No, he doesn't.
I think he
You mean he
believes
believes it? No, he
Or things
doesn't,
like
dude.
that. You know what I mean?
He didn't come on Dinkies for 5 hours, and all of a sudden, overnight, he just fucking believes it's bullshit.
No,
Doesn't
I think he
happen.
believes it.
Sorry.
The people that live in that town are students.
I think he believes it.
Nothing new came out. What do you mean he believes it? Nothing new came out from when the conversation he had on fucking Dinky's channel. So what the fuck does he believe? Please enlighten me.
A lot of new stuff has come out.
What?
Cell phone evidence.
No, that was already out.
Or lack thereof.
Exactly. All this shit was already out.
Well, no,
Nothing fucking new.
We know what they use now.
Only thing that changed is that fuck started talking to Steve, and all of a sudden now, you know, his whole fucking opinion has changed. That's the only thing that, and to me, that's fake as fuck. So, fuck Daniel.
I think that he was talking to Steve a lot earlier than that.
Well, didn't sound like it. It sounded like he had some kind of fucking common sense when he came on Dinkies. Now he's fucking a lunatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's funny.
It's not funny, dude. It's not funny because if you were in jail or I was in jail and this fucking idiot's out here, you know, polluting the whole fucking
And how
public.
about the lucky
I'd get out and
break
kick his
that the
ass.
video still exists? We're 31 days out. Everybody knows that video is a finite compilation. You know, storage space is limited. And, you know, you went to a place last night, a vape store that was just down the road from that gas station, and they said we would have happily handed over our security video, but it was past 7 days when they arrived. And then they said we would have happily handed over our security video, but it was past 7 days when they arrived. And they said we would have happily handed over our security video, but it was past 7 days when they arrived. We didn't have any. It had all been taken over, or it was gone from the buffer. You know, those are frustrating questions I think the public has a right to ask, because we have been told all along that there is this, you know, almost 100-person force that's descended onto this case, Brian. So it's distressing to think that 31 days, and just in the last few days, we're hearing that video is being collected. I would have assumed just about every point of reference in Moscow, you know, would have been collected. On the off chance there'll be a tip about a car. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the direction. I'm going to ask our patrons to put that map up again, because when you say that they're, you know, they're far between each other, if you started the crime scene down on the left-hand side of your screen on the bottom, it is really circuitous to get to that gas station and drive by, and then end up way up at the liquor store. Could you tell me if there's like an I-95 escape route that would be quicker if you went that direction? Like, does that direction make any sense anywhere? If you were to go by the liquor store first and then the gas station, or the gas station first and then the liquor store?
Not really. And I'm looking at the map, and what's interesting is in between all of these locations is the University of Idaho. So the campus is in the middle. And what I've been trying to figure out, you mentioned the vape shop. We went to the vape shop yesterday, which is near the gas station where the video was taken, over on the right side of your screen. They say the police came to their establishment 9 days after the murders. Say the police came to their establishment 9 days after the murders looking for video. And they didn't have it anymore because, Oh,
that guy in the camera has Vans on.
Delete video after a week.
I hope
So
he
that
got
was 9 days after
questioned.
the murder. The liquor store says the police came within just this last week, which is interesting when you look at the timeline. Why were they interested in the area where the vape store is early on, and now they seem to be focusing, or at least looking for
smokes and
video
drinks?
in the area where the liquor store is, which is on the other side of town?
A month later.
And does
Yeah,
other
okay, I have to
things.
ask this last question because obviously, Brian, all of these questions are excellent questions for the police. And I know our viewers have been watching this story, and they will know what today is.
Today's your mother's birthday.
Well, we expect to be able to talk to the police tomorrow, to the public information officer. And look, I sort of get it. I mean, when there's not a big update, what is the point of doing interviews when you're just going to sort of say the same thing and in a way just kind of frustrate people? So I think that today they chose to sort of have an off day. And then tomorrow, hopefully, maybe we'll get a little bit more information.
Well, bunch of idiots.
Ooh,
pro law
thought
enforcement in this case, and I am
riot.
very much pro law enforcement. I do think that they are doing a good job. But one of the things that I did read that
Come
was
back,
slightly
Brendan
frustrating
and
to me
Malia.
is that there was CCTV. As we know, there's a
Where'd they go?
clerk at one of the convenience stores who
They
came
just
forward and said they had
disappeared.
perhaps a Hyundai on CCTV. However, that CCTV was recorded over after a week.
Listen,
It was recorded
anybody who
over,
disappeared,
after a week.
I
was
get it.
recorded over after a week, and that the footage was asked for
That's why I
about
don't
3 to
slate
4 weeks
nobody
later,
for it.
and that the footage was asked for about 3 to 4 weeks later, and that the footage was asked for about 3 to 4 weeks later.
There's Brian.
Oh no.
All right,
Brian's
bro.
out
I'm about to
driving around
fucking.
Moscow again.
Oh yeah, let me fucking go out to the shed real quick. I'm about to go take this bitch out. Check out this fucking bitch, boy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, check out the fucking sticker I put on.
Have you taken her out yet?
Yeah. She's just she's all charged up. I just make sure I just keep her plugged in just in case. But I'm about to take her out now. It's so fucking fun, dude. I just love that I could just be on the road and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, fuck the road. Just go off the road, then come back on the road. Like any traffic, dude, I just go on the sidewalk and I just bypass them all. And they're like, you can't drive on the sidewalk. I'm like, there's no fucking motor, bitch. Shut up. Don't fucking tell me what I can do. People hate me, bro. I wish I lived in the city, though, so I could ride this thing everywhere.
Why? You could just ride it around the country.
That's what I do. That's what I'm saying. I'd piss more people off if I was in the city. And then I put...
Dude, I was walking home last night.
Oh, let me show you this fucking thing I put on. I don't know if you can see it. Hold on. It's a fucking... You see this white button right here?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that button is just... It's to turn on a fucking flashlight. But the flashlight is a fucking baseball bat that I connected to the fucking... thing. So if somebody fucks around, I just unclip this, and then fucking I can pull it out like a fucking baseball bat and fucking yak somebody with it.
Oh, sick.
Hey man, those fucking road ragers don't fuck around, dude. They fucking hate people with like I watch those motorcycle road rage incidents, dude. Some of those people just like run over fucking people on motorcycles. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I'm not fucking gonna be a fucking statistic. I'm gonna fuck you up with a bat before I go down.
There's a lot of crazy people out there.
Yeah, like Brian Kohberger.
Oh yeah, he's so crazy.
Like, dude, like even if we tried to have like a debate as far as like, you know, one of us thinking like there's just nowhere to go after the DNA. I'm so lost on where. Like, I know you said phone data. There's nothing, dude. Like, the phone data is not, it's nothing.
I mean, I don't understand how there's anything.
So other than the transfer, like,
but that
where
that DNA might not be his. If it's a partial sample, they don't have all the markers. They can't say it's his.
Yeah, but how does any kind of percentage then match back? Like, I mean, it didn't match back to me or you. So, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know how that shit works, but I'm just saying, like, you know, the DNA shit, I don't know too much about, but as soon as I hear it's touch DNA, I don't give a fuck, dude. Like, I don't care. And then you tell me it's not even on a weapon. It's on a sheath that you think we all think
anybody could have brought that in.
Yeah, but we think.
Yeah, but anybody could have brought the sheath in.
I understand, but they think that the sheath housed the weapon.
Right.
That sheath can house any weapon. So they handcuff themselves to say, dude, I'm telling you right now, a K-bar better been fucking used. Period. I don't want to hear nothing else.
It's not. Or at least two different weapons.
Well, why do you think we haven't heard anything yet, bro? Why do you think nothing has leaked out yet or nothing? Because I think multiple weapons were used, in my opinion. And I thought that from the beginning. Just from the sheer fucking, you know, like
the
amounts
wounds, in the PCA, the descriptions don't even match. Then you got Steve and Mabbit coming out saying the wounds don't match.
But then it's like, how are you stabbing one person while the other person is not doing anything? Like, are you pointing a gun at the person that's going to be your second victim while you're stabbing your first victim? Like, is that why Like, what the fuck, dude? There's no way I'm gonna sit here and just be like, oh, duh, while you're sitting there stabbing fucking my friend. Like, I'm gonna fuck you up with whatever's closest to me. I'm gonna throw at your head. I'm gonna do everything I can, especially if you just have a knife in your hand. I can fuck you up with anything. So, and Brian had nothing on him. Goes to the doctors, goes back to class and teaches. No fucking scars on his neck, nothing on his face, no black eye, no broken nose.
He got his haircut and a doctor's appointment later that week.
Yeah. Like I said, this is all a fucking fairy tale made up by fucking Moscow.
It really is. I think it's funny that people still believe the PCA when it has been proven beyond any doubt what they used as the cell phone data, and it's bad.
PCA is bullshit, bro. Nobody can. I mean, all the guilters and shit. I've asked them all. Nobody has explained to me the 3-minute timeline because they always go off topic or change the subject or whatever when I bring it up because nobody wants to speak about it because they can't fucking make it make sense. 3 minutes from Xana's room of him committing murders to up the street on Walenta make it make sense. Good luck.
To his car.
It ain't gonna fucking happen.
And out with no evidence brought with him.
No trail, no evidence brought to his car, no time for fucking their little fucking synopsis of bringing a bucket or whatever the fuck Jeff wants to make up next time. Like all that shit he has no time for. He literally has to go in, commit the murders, and at 4:17 while the last person is hitting the ground, and I guess that's what's, picked up on camera is just the perfect timing of the last person being attacked. Then all of a sudden Brian makes it out to his car in 30 seconds, then up the road. Get the fuck out of here, dude. He's not superhuman. I know this fucking dude. He's not superhuman.
But what if he got bitten? Listen, what if he got bitten by a radioactive spider after you saw him last?
Well, I don't know then.
He might be superhuman.
Maybe. But I mean, that's what they're making it sound like. Like this guy can fucking float into your house and stab you up without fucking, and just get out without a trace. He's that good.
I think he could teleport from the park.
He was a hitman in his other life.
Dude, you know.
Like that's just. I mean, this is like a hit, dude. Like, to get in there, take out 4 out of 6 people, and then not have the other 2 fucking bug out and call 911 right away, or run out of the house, and you're risking other college kids coming in on a Saturday night just to stop by. Like, holy fuck, the amount of risks that are in this, if somebody actually planned this that night, that time, are so beyond fucking, no way, dude. No.
On a busy college weekend. The other funny thing is when the cops are talking to that kid who stole the sign and that other kid from the grub truck with the bruise on his forehead, that was 3 a.m. and they said there's kids all over the place still.
Of course there is, dude.
Pain in the PCA. No, but listen, and pain of the PCA is that, it was a quiet night. There's hardly any traffic coming in and out. But there's kids everywhere. Night.
All you have to hear is college, Saturday. That's all I have to hear, bro. I can go, fucking the University of Scranton was fucking bumping till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. University of fucking Scranton. And now you're talking out there where fucking, that's really all there is a university, yet it was a quiet night. Fuck off, dude. You've been to college parties, right?
Back in
you
the
don't
day.
pass out till 5, 6 in the morning. 4 o'clock, shit's just getting started. Somebody went out to get some blow. Shit's just getting started. You still got maybe a half, maybe a keg and a half left. Fuck out of here. Quiet night. It was never quiet. That's why I said, if he would have done this, if somebody would have planned this, they should have planned it on the night of finals or something, where everybody was, had to get to class early the next day, and he knew everybody was sleeping, because that's what we all thought initially. That's what they told us. Everybody was sleeping. Why'd they lie to us?
I really want to figure out how much of what they said is actually the truth, because I'm guessing it's more false than true.
Hey, Jesse. Well, we know that they weren't sleeping now, so why did they lie? What would cause them to lie? What benefit do they have lying about that instead of just saying, they were awake? Because now you have to answer for it.
Who knows?
Yeah, what's up with this new document, bro?
It's just a change of venue.
Oh.
But it doesn't say anything about knife or DNA in it, so I'm still waiting.
Oh, I just this I can't believe this trial is actually going to happen. Fucking
It's not.
insane. You don't think so?
No.
You think they're bluffing?
Yeah.
Like, what do you think the state's doing right now, dude? Like, what are they doing?
Who knows what the state's doing? But the thing is like, no matter what, you could be innocent as innocent comes, and you go to trial, and the jury's dumb. Like, trial is always a gamble, so attorneys are going to try not to go to it. You know, at any point in time that they can, and she can already get the arrest warrant thrown out. So.
Well, and he has grounds for appeals as far as fucking, because there's no way in shit hell he ever had a shot at a fair trial, a speedy trial, or a fair a shot at any kind of preliminary hearing. They stripped that away from him, so he already has fucking grounds for appeals, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's just not gonna go.
You're telling me Bill Thompson would have been ready in 6 months with nothing? If we're going on 2 years now of them finding nothing new, what the fuck were they going to find in 6 months? Were they going to expedite the fucking investigation and all of a sudden they were going to find this boatload of evidence? Fuck no, they wouldn't have.
They ain't gonna find shit.
So, like, I guess my question is, like, why? I mean, I know he was kind of forced into it, but like, dude, I would have did everything I could to try to get my speedy trial. Cause like, if I knew they had fucking nothing, like, but then with the speedy trial, is a change of venue out the window?
No.
Okay, so with a speedy trial, you can still get a change of venue.
Yeah, those have nothing to do with each other.
Because I would have forced the state's hand in 6 months rather than giving them fucking 3 years. That's just me. I know that, they bombarded fucking my attorney with a whole bunch of paperwork and yada, yada, yada. But if I knew I didn't do this shit, I would have been like, I don't give a fuck what they bombarded you with. I want this trial in 6 months. I'm not sitting here for fucking 3 years. Ain't happening. I didn't do this shit. I don't care what she told me, bro. And I'd be talking to the fucking media. Yeah. They might be under gag, but I'm not. Get over here. Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something.
I'm telling you, man.
There's like 2 new docs.
Can't be more of a fucking monster than they're already paying them, so why not fucking talk?
Oh, shoot.
What do you got?
I misread it. Apparently, Anne responded to the state's objection of change of venue.
I'm telling you, man, if this gets anywhere fucking where there's any kind of unbiased jury, it's over. It's the only way they could win is if the jury's biased, in my opinion.
Boom, boom, boom. Hey, Will, you want to read?
No.
Damn it. That means I have to do it. Comes now. Brian C. Kohberger, by and through his attorneys of record, hereby submits this reply to the state's objection to his motion for change of venue. Suck it, Bill. The pressure to convict Brian Kohberger is so severe that Latah County survey respondents said if he wasn't convicted, they'd burn the courthouse down. Outrage would be a mild description. They would probably find him and kill him. There would likely be a riot, and he wouldn't last long outside because someone would do the good old boy justice. Enraged, strong opinions, firing of officers. Well, that should happen anyway because your officers are terrible. Riots, parents would take care of him. The mob mentality within the community. is the exact reason that statutory grounds prior to selecting the jury exist to move venue. Given these responses from potential jurors in Moscow and the state's acknowledgement that a remedy is needed for a jury to be selected, the state recognizes the obvious. An enormous venue problem exists. The state brings forth no experts to counter Mr. Kohberger's who are all clear venue must be changed in this case. The state does, however, acknowledge that Brian Kohberger has a constitutional right to a fair trial with an impartial jury. Mr. Kohberger's motion to change venue is supported with memorandum, expert affidavits, declarations, and exhibits that preview the testimonial evidence that court will hear on August 29th, 2024. A rebuttal declaration of Dr. Dahir is submitted with this reply. On July 28, 2024, Idaho Supreme Court pointed out that a change of venue is not an unreasonably high hurdle for a defendant to clear, but it does require proof of prejudice or a showing of reasonable likelihood of prejudice. The court is also concerned with the accuracy of the pretrial publicity, the extent to which the articles are inflammatory, inaccurate, or beyond the scope of admissible evidence, the number of articles, and whether the jurors were so incessantly exposed to such articles that they had subtly become conditioned to accept a particular version of the facts at trial. Emphasis added with the citations omitted. The amount of media coverage in Latah County is the highest in the state and does not wane. There are more than 1,300 specific media stories covering Latah County. These stories are in print, digitally, on radio, and television. Media coverage continues with the coverage, and the coverage is often inaccurate and inflammatory. The coverage conditions the potential veneer panel to think of Mr. Kohberger as guilty, and that various bits of information are factual and support guilt. The media coverage inundating Latah County does not tell citizens that no evidence has been presented at this time, that there are no facts on the record at this time, that Brian Kohberger is innocent, that only a jury decides what the facts are and whether the facts show beyond a reasonable doubt a person is guilty. Publicity regarding Mr. Kohberger has been ongoing since December 30th, 2022. It rises and falls but does not wane. The media measured and presented by TrueScope in Exhibit C of the memorandum in support of change of venue focused on traceable media. That means that media in a particular location was measured, as is pointed out by the state in footnote 1 found on page 2 of its objection. Publicity regarding Mr. Kohberger generating from YouTube, that's us, Facebook, TikTok, podcasts, streaming services like Hulu and Netflix were not included in TrueScope's report. Those highly inflammatory and prejudicial and inaccurate media forms have reached Idaho's citizens, but measuring them specific to location is not possible. Haddon directs the court to consider media coverage in the current venue and logically venues considered as alternates. TrueScopes cannot measure the location for who reads Facebook, especially private groups, nor can it determine the location of who follows certain podcasts. These limitations do not change the data. Latah County, making up only 2.75% of Idaho's population, has received 36% of the media coverage. This is the highest ratio in the entire state. Ada County, with the largest population in the state, has significantly less coverage per person. Number 2, unrefuted survey data justifies a change of venue. The state's claims about the survey are wrong. Mr. Edelman designed the survey questions and how, depending on the participants' answer, the order of questions would flow. The survey report lays out the questions and responses for all 4 counties and demonstrates that the survey was conducted exactly the same way in each county surveyed. The only difference is the number of participants. The survey shows the impact of the media coverage. The more media items a potential juror knew, the higher the prejudgment for guilt. Latah County participants knew more media items than the other counties. The state criticized the content of the survey, complaining that not enough of the surveyed items were false. Inadmissible or false statements are the information that the court must consider. See Ish at 764. The state further criticized the survey, asking the court to disregard it entirely, alleging the survey did not include a record of citizens in Latah County who did not want to participate in the survey. That assertion is incorrect. Duh. The last page of the survey report provides a table depicting the total amount of numbers dialed and what happened. In support of its argument, the state cites the court to a study done by the Pew Research Center. However, only a partial statement from the study was included. Dr. Veronica Dahir has reviewed the survey done in this case, as well as the objection filed by the state. She opines that any non-response rate does not create a bias or invalidate the survey. Duh. Exhibit F1, Dr. Dahir's declaration: the survey conducted in Mr. Kohberger's case is unrefuted and is reliable. Suck it, Bill. The state's proposed remedies expanding to Nez Perce County, vetting, or sequestration are not valid remedies supported by experts. Expanding the jury pool to Nez Perce County is not a remedy because the residents of Lewiston and Nez Perce are in the same designated market area as Latah County. They have been exposed to the same excessive media coverage, have proximity, and share the same pressure to convict that exists in Latah County. Even the two counties combined do not reach even a third of the size of the available jury pool in Ada County. The residents of Nez Perce County have been exposed to 36% of the total media coverage and are more than 10 times more likely to encounter coverage as compared to residents of Ada County. Vetting as proposed by the state does not work. For decades, the courts have recognized that simply because a jury of 12 can be selected does not mean that the jury is impartial. The requirement of the law is not satisfied by the mere impaneling of 12 men against whom no legal complaint can be made. The defendant is entitled to be tried in a county where a fair proportion of the people qualified for jury service may be used as a veneer for which a jury may be secured, to try his case fairly and impartially, and uninfluenced by a preponderant sentiment that he should be flung to the lions. I agree. This is why attempts to mitigate the juror bias are best done where there has been less emotional investment and less publicity exposed regarding the case. Dr. L. Alali, DFEXE, Emotion, page 12. Answers to the jury surveys in Ada County showed less emotional connection in total. Contravention of Latah County. When asked how the community would react to a not guilty verdict, surveys answered they would go on with their life as always. Nice. I think they would take it well. I don't know if there would be super strong feelings. That's what the jury is for, to decide based on the evidence. If a jury finds him not guilty, then he wasn't guilty because they hear the evidence at the trial. I think they would accept it. Rather than produce an expert who refutes the studies and opinions of Dr. L. Alali and Dr. Veronica Dahir, the state points to cases that have not analyzed such research. Judge Boyce in State v. Daybill explains how the case law dating back 50 years doesn't address the concerns for today. For example, once can only imagine that the justices who decided Irvin versus Dowd 50 years ago would have thought about that concern today, when every potential jury has instant access to limitless data literally at their fingertips on a handheld device. Sequestration of 18 jurors for 3 months is unnecessary and untenable. Determination of sequestration is not timely, as no motion for such is pending before this court, nor does the state produce details regarding costs to support the validity of its assertion that sequestering jurors from Ada County and Latah County is more cost-effective than moving the trial to Ada County. Idaho Criminal Rule 21A and Idaho Code 19-1801 were implemented for a reason. This case is that very reason. Can I repeat which doctor's name? I'm sure it'll come up later in the article. Also, reading sucks. Scott, you want to come up and read? Number 4, President in Idaho supports a change of venue. 3 capital cases in Idaho have recently had a venue change. State v. Lori Vallow, State v. Chad Daybill, and State v. Brian Drips. All cases stem from southeastern Idaho. The courts in these cases all granted a change of venue with a motion supported by evidence of extensive media coverage. None of the cases presented extensive expert surveys, and none of these cases presented experts specializing in the science behind juror making decisions. Of the 3 cases, 2 went to trial, and as the state points out, there were lines of spectators outside of the courthouse in Ada County. Jurors in both cases provided an in-depth media interviews post-trial and expressed that the Ada County court staff and marshals provided great infrastructure that made a big difference in their ability to withstand a significant commitment. This infrastructure includes room for jurors to spread out during lunch breaks into jury assembly room, mini bathrooms to make short breaks efficient, travel to and from the courthouse with security, ability to avoid press and spectators by being bussed underneath the courthouse, and experience of the courtroom deputies to provide security. Such accommodations are not possible in Moscow. The facilities do not exist to accommodate a jury of 18 for 3 months in a case where the public and press will be lined up outside the exterior of the building. The precedent of courts changing venue in Idaho and the experience of Ada County have handled high-profile cases should be followed and used in this case. Conclusion: Mr. Kohberger provided the court with extensive and unrefuted evidence. The evidence includes proof of excessive media coverage in Latah County that is both prejudicial and false, along with declarations of experts explaining why remedies other than the change of venue are not enough. Oh, this was written by Massoth. Nice. This evidence will be further developed in the change of venue hearing. The traumatized town of Moscow is understandably filled with deeply held prejudgment of opinions of guilt. The surrounding area of Nez Perce County and Lewiston are not situated differently. The issue of venue reaches finality with change of Ada County because the Latah County mob mentality will never produce a veneer that results in a cross-examination of the community. Hopefully all this is just crap that I don't have to read. That's like a lot of information. Should I read it, chat? Teacher? I don't want to be a teacher. What's the other one, Meg? I do like the numbers in this. What? What happened?
Nothing.
Recognize the case, Kootenai County, 88%. Ada County, 33%. Do not recognize the case, Kootenai County, 11%. Ada County, 67%. So they did do some Kootenai County work. That's lovely. Lots of different numbers in here. Yakima, Richland. Why are you talking? Oh, that's from another case, which is in Washington. Oh, you son of a
bitch.
Volume of media coverage over time, Latah and Ada County. Ada is red, Latah is black. That all seems like fairly similar to me. I don't know. Volume of media coverage over time, U.S. coverage. It has gone down. May 2023 was at its peak, and that was when the grand jury happened, I believe.
Everybody's like, oh, he's guilty. Or he's not guilty, but we don't give a fuck.
If only we could go back in time and be like, this is what they indicted him in the grand jury. They had cell phone coverage maps, and they made their map. Like, they made his route from it. Should we indict him? I don't know, Bill. That seems kind of like bullshit to me.
Unbelievable. Never saved their work.
Oh, the state's response to the request of evidence? There's actually information in that? No freaking way. It's nice when you like stream more, you like figure out all these little tricks that you can.
My problem is after Ellie has bullshitted so much. I don't trust anything they'll say, even if they fucking say something that's true.
Oh no.
Listen, after a cat walks over a hot stove, it'll never walk over a hot stove again. Or a cold one. So, they lost me, bro. By fucking lying at the beginning and all this bullshit. So, even if they fucking come out with shit, I'm not gonna believe them. Don't trust them. It's all about keeping that university fucking protected. So that's
it is the Moscow witch trials. It's nuts.
That's the Moscow motive.
So really all this document says is comes now the state of Idaho by and through Latah County prosecuting attorney and submits the attached Exhibit 1 in response to defendant's 16th supplement request for discovery filed on August 5th, 2024. The state intends to supplement this response prior to the September 6th discovery deadline. The state incorporates the following responses as fully set forth at this point. It's just a list of discovery that they apparently have handed over completely. The state has and will continue to provide discovery in accordance with Idaho Criminal Rule 16 and applicable law and reserves any and all objections thereunder. Ashley Jennings. Where's the real juicy stuff? I want to see some evidence or some arguments of evidence.
Good luck.
It's just funny how all these people are like, well, they have to have more now. They've continued the investigation. Okay, you would think that they would.
More.
But does that mean that they have? And
what they do? Dig deeper into the fibers in his car, and all of a sudden they're gonna fucking magically find something? Like, how do these fucking people think this shit works, dude? People live in a fucking fairy world. I swear to God, it's like a fairy tale. They think like every thing happens perfectly, and like they find stuff all the time. Nothing's ever covered up. No, bitch. This was the definition of fucking cover up.
Yeah, this is just wild.
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait till we hear the DNA evidence for reals. I bet there's some line in this freaking response that's like gold.
How are they going to explain none of Brian Kohberger's other DNA anywhere else?
I don't know.
Like, is there a stupid theory going to be like he wiped everything down and he just forgot that one little area? Like, is that really what the fuck the prosecution is going to say when a whole massacre happened in there? A 1-6, basically. Like, fuck you. If that's what they're going to say. They got to have some kind of explanation why now, like, neither Brian's DNA or the victim's DNA isn't in his house or in their house, other than fucking on a sheath fucking button. Why isn't it all over the bed?
The thing is, on the back of this car, you see that big black, like, bumper part on the bottom? Like, that would stick out like a sore thumb.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm just saying they have a 11 to 13 driving by the house, which is why they announced it on December 7th and they never changed it publicly.
Listen, bud.
And then they changed it to fit Brian Kohberger later.
Sideswipe the dude on the fucking highway here. Okay, 22, which is like a major highway. Fucking dude, like they basically like sideswipe each other in like a fucking 0.001 mile radius of a fucking highway. And my man got off. Him and his girl went shopping. He went, they went back home. Yada yada yada. 2 hours later, guess what? Guess who pulled up? The police. Okay, there's fucking cameras everywhere. And if Brian Kohberger was driving for this many hours, as they're saying, he's here, he's there, he's here at that time, this time, and they have not one fucking shot of his license plate, they're fucking lying. And Brian's not the dude. Sorry.
Yeah.
Not happening, bro. It's not happening. When
We
you live
definitely
there,
have his license plate.
go commit a fucking act. Go take a right when you're not supposed to at one of the fucking lights that he fucking, whatever, just to see if those cameras are even working. And then once you get that ticket, bang, you can confirm that fucking they can go back and watch whatever fucking footage they want. Oh, whoa, it deletes itself. Fuck you. Next day you would have fucking went and got that shit. Next fucking day. That day, actually. The same day that fucking you're saying these murders occurred, you would have went and got all the fucking camera footage and found who the fuck did this. But you didn't get fucking Brian Kohberger's license plate the first day because he didn't fucking see it because he wasn't over there. Jackasses.
I agree.
I'm just saying, dude, like, what the fuck? I think that nobody drove. I think that there was no car involved. I think somebody was walking, running, something. That's the only explanation, because if somebody else did this and they had a car, then that car would be on fucking camera and those people would be arrested, I'm assuming. So I think that either these people were dropped off and then they ran to a pickup location or whatever, and that's why everybody's fucking confused. My opinion only. I don't fucking know, but I'm just saying. I don't think a car was involved here. Maybe a car picked somebody up at a certain point, but if you're checking cameras all around that area, you're going to get some kind of you're going to get cars leaving there, license plate numbers, and you're going to look into all these people and eventually get your suspect. And if you don't have that, then guess what? They didn't fucking drive there. So how'd they get there?
Dude, I think that camera on Stadium Way is new. I don't see it on here. But I walked by it yesterday, so I know it's there.
I hate being taken as a fucking fool, bro. That's what they're fucking trying to do here.
I wonder how old this stuff was. That's interesting.
What?
If that camera's not there on Stadium Way in Maine, maybe they put it in after. Because, like, I literally have a video of it on my phone. Like, right now in my hand, I'm watching it.
What? What are you watching?
The video of the camera on Stadium Way and Main Street /270.
Put it on main screen.
Well, it's on my phone.
Well, don't put it on your phone.
But I'm looking at...
Well, that's too damn bad!
Hold up. Like, it's right here on this pole. You can see the mount, but there's nothing there. That's wild.
Dude, tell me watermelon isn't the best one of the best fruits ever. And it's so good for you.
Watermelon's all right.
Fire.
I was going to go get a new video because I got there kind of late and it was darkish. But
I made watermelon juice today. It was fucking fantastic, dude. Way better than like apple or fucking orange.
let me see if I could do this.
Oh God. And I think it's really good for you because it's all water. I believe. There's some sugar in it.
Law enforcement can say whatever the fuck they want.
Hmm?
All right, let me see if I can get this to work.
Yeah, I should have been a cop, bro. Do whatever the fuck you want. Whatever you want. You can get immunity. All kinds of shit.
Hey, you guys can see it, but you probably can't hear it. Not that it really matters if you can hear it or not. Window, ding.
I need the green part. Excuse me.
But you can clearly see a camera there.
Yep. Oh, I know
There
why
is
they didn't see Brian.
There is a camera.
I know why they didn't see him, bro. I got it.
He's a ninja?
No. Well, Ninja doesn't explain the car. I'm not gonna give away a secret, but I know how they didn't have none of the camera saw him.
What is it?
I'm not giving away the secret, bro.
Damn. Thought we were boys. This actually blows my mind because there's intersections on campus like right next to each other that all have cameras, which I think is like kind of redundant because you can't really get to there without driving somewhere else on campus, right? Like camera.
Here's how Brian did it, dude.
Camera.
Here's how they didn't see him. I'm gonna tell you right now. Brian had help.
Who helped
him? He had help by somebody with the initials MM. Now, MM drives a special vehicle that will not show up on any camera radar. And that person's name is Mermaid Man.
Mermaid Man?
Yes. And the boatmobile.
See, like camera.
He picked up Brian.
Intersection has cameras all over.
Nobody saw anybody.
The next intersection right down the street. Like you can't really get here without being on
my
cameras.
case right
There's cameras on this one already. Why do they have cameras all over these roads, but like not on the road coming on campus? That's kind of weird.
And then Barney Boy came back in the morning and cleaned it up for him.
Super duper weird.
Wait, are you impersonating Frank when you called him the boyfriend? My first, no, I haven't thought about Frank though. What's that? Fucking ferret.
He's got a new channel. I saw it the other day.
Another one after getting banned for fucking leaking dead pictures of kids. That little piece of shit. I'll fuck him up if I ever see him for doing that. You're laughing.
Tell him to come through.
Oh, I already have, bro. Trust me. Remember, I was gonna go to the fucking Netherlands to try to find his ass. He's in a fucking basement somewhere. There's a reason he can't see his kid.
I think a lot of these creators that talk about this case should come through to some court hearings.
Come true. I mean, listen, if you're gonna talk shit, you know. I offered, what's his name? I'll pay for the fucking gym time. Meet me at the gym. We'll fucking go a couple rounds. Like real men. And then Johnny took off. Where the fuck is Johnny? Did he come back yet?
Who's that? Detective John?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I don't think so.
I'll call him. I don't give him the fucking benefit of the detective. He was never a detective.
I'm going to read a comment real quick.
You can detect these nuts and just fucking mouth. Yeah, fuck Frank Bunny. He's a bitch boy. I don't know who's Faker, him or fucking Daniel, because like that dude, like I was talking to Frank 30 seconds before he went live, and like it was talking to a completely different person when fucking all the shit hit the fan. I was like, dude, I was just talking to you. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, what are you doing? And then he went fucking crazy, dude. And it was from whoever's behind the fake whoever was behind or is behind, or if anybody ever found out who was behind the fake Truth and Transparency profile, the one that had like 30,000 fucking subs or whatever, that was the fucking profile that ended basically mine and Frank's fucking thing on here. But I'm kind of glad it happened because Frank turned out to be a scumbag. So that shows you everything happens for a reason. I just don't know who the fuck that person was that was behind the that profile. They fuck with everybody, bro. Motherfucker would tag they'd be up 24 hours just tagging everybody. Yo, this person said this about you. This person said that about you. Truth and translucent. Oh, that makes sense.
Truth and translucent?
I don't know. It was a fake Truth and Transparency profile. The profile was Truth and Transparency, but they acted. It wasn't fucking like
people do that with a few people around here. Like Heather had a fake account a while ago.
Yeah, well, I mean anybody can really do it.
It was like her same profile picture. I was like, what the fuck?
Well, it's really not hard, dude. Like I could become anybody in here. But like I could leave for 1 minute and come back as anybody in here. Trust me.
You should become me.
I can. I have your picture, jackass. So like, what do you mean? It'd take me 1 second to come back as Twizzlestick with another account. I got like, I don't know, 9 or 10. Only because I have so many emails.
Funny, though.
Huh?
Translucent's funny though, because she always talks about me in her community posts and stuff, and I laugh.
No, this was the profile was Truth and Transparency, but it wasn't. It wasn't Lana. It was a fake fucking. It was a person that was acting as Lana, and they were fucking with every channel, dude. Wow, fucking. Oh, is BN? Yeah, there's too many people to keep track of. I don't fucking know.
But she had to have had a community post though, unless there's like more than one translucent page, because she's always talking about the Twiz gang and shit. Don't be one of those Twiz gang people. We're bad.
Oh boy, who's this bitch?
Translucent. I don't know. She makes lots of little shorts.
Oh wait, I think. Oh yeah, I remember this person. She talked shit to me somewhere, and I was like, "Bitch, I don't even know you. What the fuck?" I think her picture.
I
was
love showing up in chats with like people I've never talked to, and I know I'm blocked. Like it's hilarious.
I love that shit. Hold on a second, I gotta mute. Take a leak.
Where were all those community posts about me? Is there more than one translucent channel? I don't know. Where's Jeff H?
Yeah, I think
watching Daniel
I think
right
Translucent
now,
had
of course.
a picture like the picture was like animated or some shit, right? Wasn't that like their profile picture? It was like animated
it's
or
like
some
black.
shit.
It's
Yeah,
like black and blue.
purple or something. Yeah, fuck that person, little pussy bitch. Tell that bitch to come here. She talked all that fucking shit in chat. The one fucking
They'll never come.
Pussies.
No one wants. It's actually really funny because
Bring 'em
all
on
these
here.
guilters are like, anybody who thinks Brian's innocent will just say that conspiracy theory bullshit, right? But that none of them will debate. None of them
Who's the
debate
wolf
me.
bitch? Bring the wolf bitch here. That's the one bitch I want to. Fucking what's her name? Fucking Wolfie. That you know that bitch Wolfie.
I've
The
only
fucking
heard you talk about her.
mods for everybody and fucking sucks everybody's cock. Well, let me mod for you. And then start shit with fucking everybody. Yeah, fuck that bitch. She'll never fucking come here either.
They never
If you
do.
like her, oh well.
Yeah, but Heather, it doesn't show any of the community posts where they're talking about me.
Who else? Fuck Carol Claus. Who else?
Hey, anybody know if Gak's been talking about me still? Because I want to laugh.
There's so many people I forget, bro. That's crazy. It's like I forgot all the fucking people that fucking used to talk shit because they all like disappeared. They all dipped out.
Yeah, they dip out or change their name.
Mm-hmm. It's funny. And then they wait for something to fucking drop, like that the prosecution puts down, and all of a sudden they come back for like that day, and then they're gone again. Ugh. What's up with everybody saying, for fuck's sake, Jeff H?
Oh, they're it's because of Viviana.
Who?
Viviana. Her name is like FFS Viviana or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Which is actually really funny because she made this video. Like, everyone that thinks that he's guilty is like, go watch FFS Viviana. She's so smart, when really she's dumb. But I didn't even watch the video, but her thumbnail was something about how like the cell data was bad. And I was like, oh, I just commented on it. I was like, oh, so Twizzlestick was right? And she was like, no. But then I watched the video and she's talking about how they're going to have, she's reading the PCA and talking about how they have his pings in certain places based on the evidence that they gathered after the PCA. Like, after he was arrested, they got more evidence and somehow it's going to corroborate what they wrote in the PCA. Does anyone see a problem with this logic here?
Well, that's what I asked you before. Can they change the whole timeline now, that like, or are they locked into what they have in the PCA? Like, can they just go get up there and say a completely different, like 3 o'clock instead of 4 o'clock? I don't know. If people are saying, "Oh, well, the PCA doesn't matter," but then I thought the PCA does matter. Like, how the fuck can they get up there and just be like, "Oh, what we put in the PCA was wrong, and during this time we figured out that it was this time, and this happened, and that happened, and all this was wrong." Well, then how the fuck did you arrest them?
Obviously, they can change it because they changed it from 425 to 430.
Hmm. But okay. So that doesn't. Okay. So in my opinion, that handcuffs him even more, because who the fuck's on camera at 420? Twiz. So
fuck if I know.
So that means. So just like we all said before, somebody else was there killing the rest of them for 5 minutes. Now they just pushed it to somebody else was still in the house doing this for 10 minutes while Brian was speeding away. So them pushing it back to 430 just makes it even more fucking confusing, in my opinion, because you're saying he sped away at 420, but yet you're pushing the timeline to 430. Like, what the fuck? Is that because you have your little witnesses text messages?
It's actually even greater that they changed it to later, because that makes the timeline for him to get from the house to where Anne's going to say that he was even harder to do.
Yep. But again, how can you? What's happening from 420 to 430 is my question to you in a house. Why does it even matter if they bring up that he's speeding away at 420? Why does 420 to 430 even matter?
That's a great question. According to Daniel, it's because the victim didn't die yet, so they extended the timeline out.
Oh, so
like if I walked, no, but listen. If I walked into
okay.
your house and I stabbed you right now, and then I walked out,
mm-hmm.
because you don't die till the next day, Daniel says that the crime doesn't end until the next day when you die.
You just smack.
I don't know. Like, he can't have that many brain cells left.
So then that should then kill the theory of, oh, well, even if Dylan would have called 911, all of them were already gone. Well, maybe not. Maybe if she would have fucking actually did what she was supposed to, somebody could have been saved, and we would know who the fuck actually did this. But guess what? She didn't. We don't know what the fuck she did.
I don't get mad when people say Genesee. What you talking about, Chris?
She saw a fucking murder and got turned on and went back to bed and played with herself for fucking 8 hours. That's what the fuck happened. Fucking joke. And better have all those texts, bro. All of them. I want all her fucking movements put out in the light. Just like the Karen Reed case, what they did with fucking, you know, all the witnesses and shit there. I want that shit to happen with her. Her and Bethany's text messages. I want all her fucking movements. I want all of her fucking pinging and fucking what's cash data and all this shit they're doing for Brian. I want the same shit for Dylan.
Yo, Mitchie girl, ask him to zoom out and show Wilson Hall, and then ask him if he had the chemicals from the chem lab, why did he need to get bleach and bleach his car? Ask him those two questions. I'll pull it up so we can watch.
Fucking car. They would have seen.
I know, but that's what Daniel says. That's what Daniel says.
So he's so.
He broke into the WSU chemical lab to steal the chemicals to clean up the crime, but then he used bleach later. That's what Daniel says.
So then, but this special bleach then didn't discolorate any of his
case. A lot of times it's some other stuff, but we do talk about the case. We do get involved in some of the things that are a little bit, maybe a little bit more hush hush that we don't bring out. Maybe more of our speculation versus, you know, facts. So,
go, Mitchie girl, ask the questions.
So
Let's
that's
get it
happening. So make sure you like and subscribe. Let's see. Narcotics has to be overridden to get access.
Special bleach that does not stain
this
the
isn't
floor.
the pharmacy. This is the chem lab, and this isn't narcotics.
Everyone go ask
Cobalt
him
chloride,
if he had the chemicals from the WSU lab. Why did he use bleach? Also ask him to zoom out from this hall, Fulmer Hall, to show Wilson. The Wilson building, is that his office is? I can't remember now. I can't because he blocked it. Of course he did. He's such a pussy.
Well, the tire evidence was probably picked up right away.
Everyone go. Some of you motherfuckers in chat are not blocking his channel. I know it.
Immediately that day, the next day, they probably took some pictures of said tire evidence where they found each tire mark and where they, you know, picked them up. As soon as they got the Linda Lane footage and saw that the vehicle did that, all they had to do was match it up to the
Hey, Heather, you listening?
Taking pictures of.
Heather, are you listening?
Evidence. Because they had several of them. So you categorize those and you put them up, and then once you go,
Victorine, go. Everyone tell Victorine to go.
Lane footage. Now you can corroborate a vehicle in that area at that specific
Tell
time.
Steeler girl, I said,
making a turn
fucking
that would
fuck
be
off.
consistent with the pattern that you're seeing at that location when you collected it the day after.
Heather,
Then you
he's
can
talking
say,
about the
all right,
tire tracks.
Wait, is that another video?
I mean, this,
where's that Heather
this
been?
track right here. These are the
She comes into
I don't think
Dinkies
it's
every
that
now
big
and
of a
then.
long shot.
I haven't seen her.
Honest with you. Now, if it was,
She had
if
some
you're
issues
referring
coming
to
on, she said.
the fact that,
But she's been
you
in
know,
law.
I see angels over there. Fuck is she saying?
Maybe, perhaps.
I think it's your
what you're gonna
responsibility
try to
for
do is
the
you're gonna
car
try to,
question. It wasn't him.
say that, all right, this certain
Oh, Heather's gonna go off.
came from the same manufacturer and the same
Here's Heather.
grouping of tires that were created that created this set of tires. Now that vehicle came from
I can't read it though.
Came from the east side. So if they
Go,
can
Heather,
pinpoint
go.
it to a group of tires that were sold on the northeast side of the
I wonder
United
if I pop
States,
this off, you guys can
and that's
still
even
see it.
stronger evidence too of pinpointing it
What
back to
happened?
him. You know what I mean, Big Blue? Is all this making
Hold
sense?
up, hold up, hold up,
Yeah.
hold up. Twiz is working some magic.
And as much in the west or north central. Depends on where they get their tires made at.
What
There we
chemicals
go,
are
there
used
we
in
go.
forensic science classes? Well, luminol, which I think I heard was one of the items that may have been taken, which would have detected the presence of DNA and things like that. Blood cleaner, bleach. I mean, there's quite a bit of chemicals that would help you.
He needed to steal
in the
bleach.
prevention and also the cleanup, you know, with the crime scene. I mean, that's also part of it as well. I mean, one of the reasons why they're not allowing jury to go back into the house is because they said there was chemicals that they went in there in the forensic team. So that just tells you that they have chemicals. There's quite a bit. I mean, I know each one of them because I'm not a CSI person. However, that's a good question to ask Steve from True Crime Web. I'm gonna see if I can get him back on the show. I have other questions for him, especially knowing this information, what he may think of. Let's see. We'll be answering a couple more questions, and then we'll be going forward.
Somebody better hurry
Daniel, there's a
up.
possibility he was looking for a corrosive substance to help dispose of the Yes, that's what I was thinking too. I mean, it's more than just like cleaning up the scene. I mean, there's a lot of things that he could have taken in there. It could have been that to dissolve those things. It could have been to help him clean his house, I mean, his car and his apartment. And it could have also been items to help protect him from getting DNA on his person or his DNA being left at the scene, such as hazmat type suits, gloves, booties, things of that nature.
This dude just pulls shit out of his ass all the time. It's so funny.
I thought I remember something about him being fired right around the time or shortly before he was arrested. Yes, he was in hot trouble with WSU. He ended up getting terminated or being explained that he was
zoom out, see if it pops up.
December. It was mid-December, but it was before he left. Because he ended up getting a letter of termination December 19th. I think it was the 7th. Where they specified that they had already informed him that he was going to be terminated, and this was the official termination letter that he didn't receive because he was already.
Where's the letter at?
Where's my comment?
We'll answer a few more questions.
you're
before we
blocked,
call this show. We went a little bit longer than I anticipated. What up, Black and Gold? Welcome back.
If he stole the chemicals, why does he
There's
use bleach?
car receipts. Borrowed car receipts. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, there's nobody else's car that you can use. It's just it doesn't make any sense. Uber. Could you imagine that, Big Blue, Ubering yourself to a murder? Somebody Ubering to
I
a
bet it's
murder.
been done before.
People have done it, but not knowing that they were going to do something that day. But yeah, I would say it would be tracked. It'd be like, especially if
Heather, great attempt.
His phone was off. You got to pay the guys. Most Uber's only app only, so the phone has to stay on to work.
Yeah. Connor says he drove his own car because he planned on changing his registration the following week. Just lots of cover-up BS. Yeah, that's true. He did change his license plates the week after.
Yep.
How can anyone say at this point
because
that
it expired at the end of the month?
very least a burglar? Cam Lab breaking into his friend's apartment. That said, how is him being a murderer not a far stretch from that?
One, none of that's proven.
I think it's even more important once you find out that he is alleged to have committed a murder. Then you start to see all these things, right? Like he broke into somebody else's house. He did this. He did that. These are all signs and symptoms that you would expect to see from somebody who's, eventually going to commit a crime of such magnitude. This is just more circumstantial evidence pointing in that direction.
That's what he told the Uber driver.
Open the trunk for my kill kit, please. Man, that's crazy. Let's see.
Normally,
Trina Baker
maybe
says
I'm getting that
he could have
confused.
parked in a dark place. There are no cameras 5 miles away. Yes, left his phone at home. But even if you leave your vehicle 5 miles away or however far, walking there or jogging there, and plus the adrenaline, and also remember he wasn't ready the first time he went around. It took him drove 3 times around, 4 times before he was finally ready. You're not gonna be able to do such things on foot. So, he would have gotten there at 3:26. He's not gonna be able to drive off and run away. He's gonna have to sit there in the cold and 20-degree weather until that light turns off. And even at that, if he's sitting there waiting, he's gonna see the DoorDasher and he's gonna know that, all right, that light that was on wasn't
because
just
he
on
knows the
they were
DoorDash
awake.
is
It was
coming.
on because they were anticipating a DoorDash delivery. So now instead of him thinking that they fell asleep, he's going to know that they have a DoorDash delivery. And so he's probably going to have to wait even longer to make entry into the room. So that Xana, who picked up the DoorDash delivery, is now asleep.
Zoom out. You won't.
Yeah, out there.
He's got to have the
freezing
map up,
temperatures,
though.
Icy.
It doesn't
You
work.
can stare at the stars all you want. That's going to be one cold-ass night. And, hypothermia and things of that nature are real. He's not the largest of men, especially at that time. The guy looked like he was on meth. Very skinny, sunken in face, sunken in eyes. He don't look healthy, and so he looks healthy now, a lot healthier now. And remember, he wasn't running at the time because, according to his own attorney, his drives
No, he
became
was
longer
running
and
less.
His runs ceased to exist; they stopped happening. So it was not like he was working out and doing all these things, and now he's no longer working out. He's just doing a bunch of different drives around that time. So, him to get healthier in jail. he's going to be thinner. Is somebody that thin? I don't know. How long can somebody?
Watch your fucking time me out.
185 pounds. How long do you think they can last in 20-degree weather, Big Blue?
Called him a fucking pussy boy.
Last like that.
That was great.
But how long before like hypothermia kicks in?
Can't stop me, bro. You can block me. You can't stop me.
I mean, it can be if you're not.
I don't even want to stop.
I find a
That's
way.
why I just think it's so
Yeah.
funny because he's just gonna keep talking, and then the next time Andrew Garrett comes out and tells what the actual evidence is, he's gonna look like an idiot again, and I'm gonna laugh.
He does look like an idiot. That's why. This is fucking. He's a chode. Yeah. I've actually seen combat. You see my picture? I'm a fucking paintball veteran. All right?
But at least he's funny. All right, I'm gonna end the show and go watch
Daniel's
Swamp
not funny.
Rose. I'll get you guys the link.
Not funny.
It's
He's the opposite of funny.
It's funny that he's serious.
Yeah, Blue's just a fucking potato. Just sitting there fucking putting up with it. The other dude got the fuck out of there. He's smart. Blue has to be high as shit to fucking put up with this. You could tell he's smoked every fucking time. Just like me, I gotta be hard to fucking listen to this fucking idiot Daniel talk, or else I can't fucking pay attention.
All right, everybody go watch Swamp Rose. I think we're going to be live tomorrow. As of today, we're going to go live tomorrow on Dinkies and talk about some Court TV and how bad they are.
Fuck you, Vinny.
Yeah.
All right, but I'm going to ride. I'm not going to fucking talk about this shit anymore. We just fucking talked about it for 3 hours. Long enough for me.
Yeah. We'll see you
bro.
tomorrow.
I'll catch you tomorrow. Later, y'all.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Or you can come hang out in Swamp and we can talk some more shit or something. I don't know.